Alrighty then, welcome. Hello to everybody who's catching this live. Hello to everybody who's catching this on Wooden Potato Stew. It's good to see you all. We're continuing with the Path of Fire playthrough. Now, today I've not really advertised the stream or anything because I think we will be a little bit shorter of a stream today. And it's got nothing to do with the 18 hours we did last weekend, but it's because I got a lot of Guild Wars 1 stuff that I want to cover on the channel. I've got a generic Guild Wars 2 video I want to do as well just before Tuesday, because Tuesday feels like it's finally going to be trailer day, and then it's all going to be Living World, and then everything like gets really spicy and whatever. So I got a little bit of a window here just to sort of talk about stuff and let people know what's going on with the game. I've got that, but I'm also super into the Let's Play at the moment. And making it, and I don't know, there's a fire in me, and it's kind of cool. Basically I'm going a lot harder on the trivia and sort of looking at environments before I go to them, playing through, testing stuff, all of that kind of stuff. So I don't know, I'm spending a lot of time on it, and the truth is I need to sort of balance it with this stream and with the news videos and all of that stuff. So all of that said, yeah, I think this stream might be slightly shorter. So tomorrow will be like the really big one. But I do have some very cool stories about another, dare I call it a project yet? Another thing that's been happening to do with data mining. And it's really exciting, and I might do videos on it coming up. I'm not sure. I don't want to blow my whole load here on the stream, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so it should be pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically what's going on. So yeah, hello everyone. Hey Liz V, Alphax Neo, it's good to see you. Good morning, Termler. The LP's been awesome. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I think I'm putting out videos a bit too fast for most people at the moment, but the people who are able to keep watching and keep up and keep their eyes on it, I think are really liking it at the moment. I'm getting a lot of nice comments about how regular it is and stuff. So for the right no-lifers out there, such as me, I know what it's like to be in that position, who just need tons of entertainment, but we don't like watching anything else. Hopefully they'll all be very happy that we're getting through it. But I kind of have to go at this pace. That's the thing. Like, some people are saying, oh, it's too much, whatever. It's I'm not having this Let's Play go all the way till like 2019, 2020 or something. We have to be at this pace. ArenaNet built a massive game, and we knew that going into this project. I was very clear about that. It's just because now it's finally dawned on you that, oh, this is a lot of content to get through. It sort of doesn't change the facts. We have to keep the pace, even if viewership drops, even if people would rather other things. So, in any case, I'm really liking it, and I'm super pumped as well to record today's video, which I've prepped a ton for. I've actually got two that I want to do. They'll be back to back, and I'm really pumped for it because, number one, we've got Karis and Tegwin coming back, and the reference to the mirror and stuff, which should be really good. Number two, then we get the Vision of Ore, which is going to be also extremely exciting, and I've got a ton to talk about there. A lot more trivia. Well, it's going to be really good. Well, you saw that on the No Skills Challenge last weekend, right? But what you probably don't realize about from the No Skills Challenge is we're talking about the game mechanically. We're talking about the lens of Guild Wars' failures. We're not immersed in the story. We haven't got all the background information. But when we get there in the LP, it's going to feel so good because there's so much cool dialogue in that instance. And it's just been... I've been really happy with how certain things have gone together that I think a lot of people probably don't think of. But, like, I just want to make one thing clear. We had, in Harathi Hinterlands, while dealing with the Skrit and the Destroyers, just before going to Twilight Arbor, a short story that dealt with prominent Sylvari NPCs who will be in Twilight Arbor fighting against Destroyers. Like, just the coherency was like off the charts. It was just so perfect to have those stories at that time. And people might not realize that watching the series because of the way I spliced it together. But if I had put that short story anywhere else, it would have felt really strange and out of place, because it's like the Sylvari interacting with destroyers, and it's like, oh, but I thought we've been being taught to care about Zaitan, and I thought we've been taught to care about the Nightmare Court and this and that, and then all of a sudden a random destroy thing. But we get to segue that perfectly between the script stuff and segue out of it, because it's Kaith and Foulane stuff, which is relevant for Twilight Harvest. So there's all those nice little things, and that just keeps going. When we get to the Vision of Ore, we get all this really cool Sylvari exclusive dialogue. We've just been reminded of Karis and Tegwin, and the last time they were at Ore at the Pale Tree. Then we go back to the Pale Tree, who takes us back to Ore. It's so nice. Like, this little chunk here is really cool. I've also got some short stories that I've just recorded. One of them is an excerpt from the Guild Wars 1 manuscript, talking about the Guild Wars and what exactly they are. And that's going to feel a bit weird, but people will be like, oh, he's teaching us what the name of the franchise is about, so that's fine. But then I have an excerpt from... By the way, ebooks are awesome. Can I just say, getting an ebook version of any kind of novel and being able to control F any keyword and boom, is so cool. Like, I know through all the novels, every single piece, right now, very fresh in my mind, all the, like, real stuff to do with Foulane. Why? Because I can just go to my ebook reader and control F for the word Foulane, and anytime she's remotely mentioned, and everything she did around Kaith and everything, it's like, pff, I know that, and I can give that to people in the city. It's so cool. Ebooks are awesome. Anyway, so, yeah, I got an excerpt coming up from Sea of Sorrows, where Kabaya is just it's just a nice little bit of dialogue. I mean, Ree was a goddess at some, like, scenes with her book. She was so fucking good. She was so much better than Robert King was. She was so much better than Jeff and Matt were. It's brilliant. So there's basically just a scene where Kabaya's in a ship, and I won't spoil it too much because you'll see it in the series, where he's talking about Ore and why he loves Ore. And he's talking to another boy who is talking about why he likes other stories to do with, like, saving the fair maiden Gwen and the heroes of the Searing and the conquest of the Char and stuff. And they're just sort of debating what stories they prefer from times of old. And it's a beautiful piece because it's a very cool little story that you don't really need much more context for the wider universe to enjoy. But it also teaches you very clearly what the Char did to the Orients. And that the Char came and mullered that nation and destroyed it. And the Vizier resorted to this thing. And it's beautiful to be able to give people that insight. Because it's quite a complicated thing, right? Like, if you're a new player to this franchise and you look at Ore on the map, like, there's a lot of stages to what happened at Ore. You know, like, the original time with the gods there, and then the Char attacking, and then the sinking, and then the raising of the dragon. Like, it's quite a staggered thing. And I really, as a very new player, you have to make sure that each of those beats are compartmentalized properly in the audience's mind, and that they really know it. As Guild Wars 1 players, it's easy, because Ore was sunk in Guild Wars 1, so we know it. But for Guild Wars 2 pure new players, it's all, like, just history. And to understand that it was up, then it was down, then it was up again, and all of that, I want to be very, very clear. And so we get that short story, and then we're going to go straight to Ore via the Vision of the Pale Tree. And when we're there, Traherne will essentially give us his recollection and accounting of what he knows about Ore, which, as always with Guild Wars 2, is, like, insufficient. Like, Traherne speaking to you in the Vision there, that is the one place really in the game where you, especially Golden Path, especially the main way through the game, that players will actually hear about Ore's history. It's the one place in the game where the Guild Wars will be mentioned. It's the one place where the attack from the chart, not the one, but our main route through, it's like, and it's tiny, you know, like there's paragraphs and paragraphs of information in the movement of the world, in the manuscripts of the first game, in the novels that deal with this subject material, and the Guild Wars 2 players get a little bit of Traherne talking about it, which is, I've identified something. I, as a fan, as a pre-existing fan of the franchise, I adore Traherne talking about that stuff because I'm like, oh yeah, this is so cool. Listen, here it is in game. It's being referenced. But if I didn't already know the stories and I was reliant on Traherne's dialogue and Traherne's dialogue alone to get my understanding, I wouldn't have that thrill there. it's not thrilling to hear Trahan talk about it because he doesn't, as always with Guild Wars 2, go into enough depth. What he actually says is insufficient. So the only thing it's good for is wanking off if you're a pre-existing lore enthusiast for these topics. And that happens constantly in this game, and I've realized it. So by intelligently putting the short stories, such as Kabara on the ship, and the manuscripts and stuff early, everyone watching that show, everyone watching the LP, will be able to geek out just as I did listening to Trahan, because that's not their point of learning anymore. They're not. That's their point of reinforcement, and that's their point of crystallization, where it solidifies their understanding of what is in text in the short stories with actually what is in the game. You see? So I don't know why I'm rambling about this. It's just what I'm working on today, and I'm excited to create the video. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. I guess I'll go back to chat, and then we'll kick this stream off, which is not about any of that. It's about Path of Fire. So yeah, what we got? WP, save me from boring Saturday workday. Okay, Risko, what do you want to do to be saved? Cool Boy JK says, lol, I was watching your old lore videos. What do you think of returning to those? Why did you type lol in all caps? It's complicated to return to those because they're kind of a difficult thing to make, and I'm not sure I'll ever really get enough heads up from the devs to make a Cantha series properly, and they've done things out of order now, so now I'm just not sure about it. But I've had ambitions over the years. They may return. I've got enough going on. Can you guess when we're going to get the trailer? I would guess Tuesday at 5 o'clock GMT. That's usually when they drop them, innit? No, Alphax Neo saying I've been commenting way too much. You haven't. I don't know whether I've got something broken in my brain at the moment, but I want more comments. You got no idea how much I refresh that shit. I just refresh and I'm like, has someone said something? Like as I'm typing here, I've just refreshed again to see. And I'm like, I want more. It's because I'm used to the normal videos I do. I get a lot more, but the comments are boring. It's like, oh, I'm so excited about the X upcoming update. Oh, it's going to be so cool. Oh, what a nice trailer. It's like nothing. All the comments are all right, and I like the enthusiasm. But I'll get, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in just a few hours on a normal video. And then on the LP, where, we get an hour solid of, really dissecting and understanding and exploring and celebrating Tyria, I'm really excited by all the comments I get on those. And I don't know, I feel like there's never enough. So do not ever fear that you're posting too many comments, honestly, never. Even if I see, when I refresh, a huge block where someone's just marathoned a ton of videos and they've commented on every single one, that never makes me feel anything but happy. So yeah, there's no need to stop. Benji, it's good to see you. Peel off, it's good to see you. Nose Blunt, it's good to see you. You use an Overdrive app and your local library. Depends on your region. Oh, how much is it for the Guild Wars ebooks? I picked them up a while ago. They weren't very expensive. Ebooks tend to be cheaper, right? I think it was like £6 or something for each one. So I have physical editions and ebook editions. That was for recording the audiobooks because it's easier. You can highlight and do all the things. They're nice. Is it possible to get my reshade preset? You can search on the subreddit for the full story on that. But basically it's a collection of lots of different effects that I don't even know if they're hosted anymore. It's not that complicated what I do with my reshade though. Do you want LP comments? What, here at the stream? I mean, I don't really mind. I'll probably miss them at the stream, but on the videos, certainly. Olodus, it's good to see you. AHG says, my computer broke down yesterday, so now I'm waiting for new hardware. I'm rewatching all the Living World videos WP made. It's funny to see how the speculation was either right or wrong. What's the most wrong I've been? Hatchy. I'm actually really interested in that. What's a lot of people are like, oh, you were right about the Dragon Hunter. You were right about, what are some other ones? I mean, the Morgemoth stuff was always obvious. And that wasn't even Living World. That was like a release video I did where I talked about Morgemoth. Literally, it was within the month of the game coming out. I did the whole Pale Tree is a dragon champion thing. So yeah. Yeah, no, Nerdy PG, I do appreciate it. I don't need live action roleplay comments. Plus, it's not live action if it's text on a page. But nice try there. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what the most wrong I was. If I think back, my ambitions and desires for this franchise were much more than they ended up. Like, this is a classic one. I was expecting and hoping when Heart of Thorns came that they'd, like, double the size of the world. And then we got 4 maps, you know. Things like that. Expecting campaign quality instead of what we got in the end is a bit... or campaign scope, I should say. Not quality. Campaign scope was a bit of a misstep for me, I guess. I don't feel guilty about that, but yeah. That's just how I felt thinking of expansions as a Guild Wars 1 player. At least Eye of the North scope, you know. Usually just make one huge block of test comment about everything you saw. You have died a few times in World vs. World because of it. Really? Yeah, I like the giant blocks. I do. We're doing the Departing. Did we already do the Departing? Isn't the Departing in the Mist? You might have missed it, man. I'm pretty sure we already did that. I made a joke on Visual Wood that there would be 4 maps, and I got it right. That's crazy. Yeah, I hope there'll be a trailer on Tuesday. I think probably if there isn't a trailer on this upcoming Tuesday, I will then sort of be a bit more on board of like, wow, what's going on here? This is a bit strange. Up till now, I've been totally chill about it, and I really don't mind. There's honestly so much content. Here, I'll show you. I just completed a collection. Let me log in game, and I'll actually show you some stuff. I was going to do an intro. Wait, what? Oh, no, that's fine. I was going to do an intro to the stream, but I might not. I kind of want to show you guys something. Just of how much content there was in a bug in the system outside of the story, which I just got finished with. I will show you a farm. Would you guys like to see a farm? I've been listening to podcasts, and not for the past few days, but here is what I do for Karma in Guild Wars 2 at the moment. I'm not claiming that this is the greatest farm in the world, but I'm not going to make a video on this or anything, so, so this is it, all right? Do you guys want to see how to get crazy Karma? How to complete that tier 3 cultural weapon sets like Warden stuff? And also work on Weapon Master stuff at the same time? Well, buckle up. Why are our frames so low? Something about streaming destroys my frames lately. 30 FPS here? I'm usually wandering around at 144 here. There's something going on with OBS. I need to update, or I don't know. Clean some dust out. I'm not sure. Right, so here's the farm. You come to Ania Gel Encampment Waypoint. And you just do this ad in perpetuity. Okay? You get your Raptor ready. You play a Spellbreaker because it's OP. In terms of just blowing stuff up nice and quick. And here's what you do. From the waypoint... Oh yeah, I had to change my keybinds because... Guys, I've been praising the Logitech G600, but I think one of the buttons broke on it for me. One of my mouse buttons. When I click the mouse wheel to the right, it seems to be broken. You come to mowers... and you beat them up. And you turn on auto loot, like so. And every single mower you kill, you get 200 karma from. So, let me just go to the exact perfect place here. So, the devs... wait, where am I? What am I doing here? I've gone the wrong way. I'm supposed to be on the shore. Not here, not here. The devs kind of shoddily added some stuff on this map, I guess. They added creatures that have no AI or anything. And mowers are really squishy. So, if you look over here, these mowers here, for example, when we kill these... So, there's quite a few mobs like this that will just never do anything. And I don't know why. But, yeah, that's basically what's going on. So, what you can do is, you know, charge over to a ton of mower on your Raptor. Do this. These ones will attack back. Full counter. Oh, look, there's billions of things dead instantly. And, oh, look, we're getting flooded with stuff. And yeah, you just basically run in a little route here. Nothing can really survive any kind of time against a warrior like this. It's just kind of nuts. So we do this, and then what you do is then fill in the time of mowers respawning by grabbing more mobs. So you can kill these crabs here, but if you can grab packets, it's better. So like all these drakes, usually you can pull these together at once as well. And you just blow these up as well. Put a podcast on. And yeah, you just wander around. Don't engage on vets. One full loop is like, let me show you. There's some hatchlings which are really good to kill. Here you can gather all these guys up and blow these up. Here, these are pretty good. Any hatchlings you can find. Some of them don't drop loot, and I don't know why, but these two do. So yeah, they seem to have forgotten with loot tables on some of this stuff. This can be a bit bad because there is a veteran here, and you don't really want to do the veterans. But you can full counter and just rip things to pieces easily enough. So all of that's dead. You get tons of experience while you're at it. Still gonna, my gameplay's gonna be really bad here today, just because my mouse keybinds are being weird. So auto run is the main thing I'm messing up now. I need to learn a lot more muscle memory again to pick up. It only broke maybe a few hours before this. Either that or it's some kind of weird software issue, but I can't imagine why I'd have one of those. Yeah, so you can just run in a circle like this, and then you come in on the inside. I messed up full counter there. These guys are a bit annoying with that. You come through. So I've got Mace Axe on right now. The only reason I have Mace main hand is so that I can score really easy kills with the Mace and work on the Weapon Slayer achievement while I'm at it. But you just charge through, and then by the time you get back, you can come back in just a few moments. You'll find the way to get the loop correct that you return really quickly. Here, by the way, more bugged mobs. These guys don't have any AI, and they all pack it up on this. So you can kill these and just slay. That's a lot of mower we just killed there. Another one just respawned instantly. You can kill all of them. You get loot from all of them. And then, yeah, look, these mower are back. And then you jump in, do your thing, and you kill them all at once. See that? You see this ridiculousness? Warrior, people. Warrior 2K18. Me warrior. Me smash things. And yeah, the karma just kind of comes in and in. I've got myself maybe... So we just got 6,600 karma from that. I've got myself maybe 7 or 8 stacks of karma this way, which is hundreds and hundreds of thousands of karma. And I've just thrown it all on Warden weapons. I'm getting cultural T3 stuff. And it really is as easy as that. So that's one of the things I've been doing in game. And then if you are particularly hungry... I mean, I do this as like... It's almost like a Lake Doric farm for me, just running in circles. And, you know, I get to be brain dead and I get to focus on listening to the podcast or whatever it is I might be doing. If you are so inclined to really min-max it, I'm sure you could actually waypoint hop to other places and kill more dense packets as they respawn. And then there's also the meta, obviously, which we've done a million times on the stream, and we don't have to, you know, ramble on about too much. But that's also very good. So while the meta is up, you can go defend the gate, get billions of karma from that, but then don't actually kill the mobs on the inside, the big bosses. Leave the big boss bit and just come back out here and start go mower hunting again. But I don't do that because it's not like an active activity for me, really. It's just sort of my fingers doing something while my brain is immersed in another world of information. Yeah, I don't know why I was going to log in and tell you something else, but I can't remember now. I was also talking about how Lazarus could be the queen / the niece. Yeah, I mean, I still think that was valid speculation. I mean, it's the thing. You can be... What's that thing? Picard says it in an episode of Star Trek, and people, like... You can do everything right and still get it wrong, or whatever. That sounds very, like, egocentric of me, or whatever. But what I mean is, like... It was a valid speculation to make at the time. The devs never went it in that way anymore, but that doesn't mean the speculation itself was necessarily wrong to make. Does that make sense? I'm wondering if there's somewhere where I was wrong and it was just like blatantly like, you know, an odd angle to go at all, because I'm sure there's a lot of that, if you get what I mean. Okay. Shatter says, incredible content, resident sleeper. Why are you so sarcastic and rude some days? Why are you so mean, man? They think you're a TX. If they stand still, you'll go away. What? Oh, the mowers. The mowers, right, I see. Yeah, they just let you kill them. I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, that's very strange, but I'm guessing it's a sign that they were pretty crunched making this map. I mean, it's such a big map, right, with so many different random things that you can fight in it, that I'm sure some of them would mess up somewhere here and there. WP, this is great. Game-breaking stuff. This shouldn't be in the game. Yeah, I think so too. But what's game-breaking is the karmic retribution thing, which they quite knowingly added. So while you and I may call it game-breaking, I personally, I think they have a different philosophy for it. I guess what this might be is they're happy to break the game as long as people are in newly added maps so that there's population in them and stuff. Because what they've successfully done by implementing this is they've had their beaches populated with a player, right, who runs around killing things. And so when others come around, they see me, and, you know, it's that kind of thing. So maybe it's just a compromise that they are willing to make. What I'm trying to say is I don't think it's, like, unintentional. Obviously, killing mowers that have no AI is unintentional. But we're also splitting hairs. That's not game-breaking. Killing mowers that don't have AI, I mean, really, it's not that much. I could kill this scarab has AI, and I could kill this scarab extremely quickly anyway. Oh, look, he got one animation where he flew in the air and turned around. He may as well have been a mower with no AI. That's sort of what they've got it designed like, right? So, I mean, this one managed to blind us. But you get what I mean. It's a trivial difference. Right. Let me scroll down in chat. Chat says, life made me this way. Life didn't make you anything. You made you this way. Just remember that, everyone. If you ever hear yourself saying that, you made you who you are. You did. You can be anyone you want to be. Just takes work. It's a big map. I can forgive it for having a bug in the system. Yeah, it was the mowers without AI that delayed this patch. It's crabs without AI that's delaying the next one.
These outlanders pumping around all willy-nilly.
It's strange to me how you need to farm karma. I've never worried about it, just accumulated it. I bought all the cultural weapons and have over 3 million left over. Well, I guess it also depends how many Season 3 and 4 minis and things you've bought. Because that stuff's in the order of hundreds of thousands of karma. I never had karma problems ever until I started doing that. I've also done a bit of a foolish thing, and one of them was very recently when the LP started. At probably, this is not an exaggeration. It's really not. I really think I'm being conservative here. There's probably 4 to 6 different times throughout playing Guild Wars 2 where I've had millions of karma. And I've spent it all on completely dumb stuff. Not cultural weapons, not actual account unlocks or anything. Just completely random, ridiculous, dumb stuff. Purely to delete it all so that I could do like a fresh restart kind of thing. I've done that many, many, many different times. And I'm sure I personally have killed a lot of my own karma stores based on that. But yeah, I mean, I was in that camp of never caring about karma or thinking of it as a currency. But now with the new Living World things, if I force myself to go for that stuff and I force myself to go for the cultural stuff, it's now become a mechanic for me. In a weird way, what's actually happened with the game is a Black Lion change has improved currencies and bred good design, which you'd never expect, right? The Black Lion trading company creating good design? What, how? And the answer is automatic wardrobe unlockers. The wardrobe unlockers being in the game has made me as a player care about unlocking a lot of like the chuff so that I get more value out of the automatic unlockers when I do actually buy keys, which I haven't for a long time now. But I think the last time I did it was on stream. So because of that, I want the cultural weapons because I'm like, well, just kill mowers and stuff, get the karma, unlock all the cultural weapons, and then I'm much more likely to get something cool from an automatic unlocker. So it's really the wardrobe unlockers, and that's happened with lots of different things in the game for me now. So, yeah, I think it's pretty badass. Yeah, oh, back in the day, you cycled through tens of millions of karma. Oh, okay. If back when the jewelry boxes came out, you had tens of millions of karma, then it's probably a playstyle thing for you. You've probably spent a lot more time doing events and stuff. I also am a bit low on karma. PvP is amazing for pretty much everything except karma. And very specific, you know, like world versus world currency you get very little of. But, yeah, karma doesn't really come much from PvP. And since that's the vast majority of my playtime in 2018 and later 2017, I also struggle a bit with it for that. Can I /age my account so that you can see? Sure. I mean, it only gets worse day by day. 12,000 hours. 557. So, the last account tour I did was at the end of, not Christmas that just came, but the Christmas before that. So, about 6 months before Path of Fire came out. So, not the most recent Christmas, the one before that, about a year and a half ago. And I had 10,000 hours back then. So, in a year and a half, I've played 2,500 hours of this game, which I actually think is much more healthy than it's been in the past for me. About 2,500 hours of my life in Guild Wars over a year and a half period. I don't know what the maths works out for that, but I think that's okay, actually. I really do. I'm not including my other accounts. True, but I also, I mean, you're right. I did forget about that a second ago as I was speaking. But the truth is I haven't played my other accounts much in the past year and a half, if I remember. Have I played other accounts a lot in the past year and a half? Am I forgetting something ridiculous obvious? Zero to Hero was that on this account? Or was that on a different account? I can't even remember. If Zero to Hero was on another account, though, it doesn't matter. Because Zero to Hero was pretty much finishing up around that last account tool. So 2,500 hours is 104 days. By the way, also there's quite a lot of AFK time in that. I used to always say that as like to make myself feel better, but there genuinely is. I've been really bad with this and electric bills, leaving the game on and accidentally logged in and just standing around. Yeah, Zero to Hero was a while ago now. You know, there's a couple of videos on my channel, guys, that are, like, kind of infuriating to me. Because I get these comments where people are like, oh, just get to the point, right? This is one of the things that, like, kind of annoys me. Just get to the point. My existence on YouTube is about talking about things in depth and, you know, actually exploring topics, right? So I have a video on my channel, which was when we finished Zero to Hero. I spent about an hour condensing this mammoth, gargantuan big project with tons of different facets and sides to it, approaching it from all the different perspectives people will have, talking about the results, that what it realistically means, talking about our edge case scenarios, talking about what we might construe as otherwise realistic, and, you know, grounding ourselves, covering everything, making sure that if you watch that video, you fucking understand the state of Guild Wars and what grind actually means in Guild Wars and how it compares to other MMOs. This is no small topic, and it deserved to be explored in full, alright? Not just because that's a shtick of mine or whatever, but because I genuinely believe in giving the information. I genuinely believe there are adults out there who know how to sit down, shut up, and enjoy something on a longer term than 3-minute bites, okay? So I do a video. The video's purpose is to explore it in full. And it's one of the... There's a few videos like that where still to this day I get randoms who, you know, they're the kind of people who don't know how to type your with Y-O-U-R. They type you-are, right? I get random assholes come onto that consistently, week in, week out. I'll get these stupid comments appear where people say, oh my god, just tell me the information. why is this so long? Like, and I cannot escape from it. It's so annoying to me. It's one of my real pet peeves. There's a few videos like it. Another one was when I remastered the Guild Wars 1 Prophecies trailer. And a lot of work and love and passion and process went into that. And not just myself, but several different people deserve to be credited for their work on that. And it's like, listen, it's this cool thing. I'm asking you to spend 4 minutes to hear how it was incepted and born, and just to spend a second showing some appreciation. You have to do nothing with your life except sit on your fat ass and watch the video box for a few minutes. Is that possible? Apparently not for most people, because just describing how this came to be a passion project of mine gives me unending comments from people saying, oh my god, get to the point. Get to the point. I just want to see the trailer. You made it, now give it to me. I deserve this. And it was so annoying. There's like maybe 6 or 7 videos like that just consistently like, ugh, I just want to smash my head on the desk and be like, why is this what humanity is? It's not a problem with the internet. It's a problem with people. It's so annoying. Can you get to the point of this rant? This is why I need these nice boat rides, to just chill out, you know? Look at the pretty background. There we go. Benji says, I remember that. They just wanted to see the trailer and didn't want to see the build-up. Yeah, I know. It was worse when it came out. I can get it. Right, listen, I'm not actually an angry, ragey person that's, you know, unable to deal with these things. When it came out, that was, you know, these things are at fever pitch when the videos come out. And I understand that. I get that that's going to happen when it comes out. But just what really gets to me is like it's the death by 1,000 cuts thing. It's the fact that for years forward now, I'm gonna refresh my comments to be like, oh, I wonder if anyone has anything interesting to say about Kaith and Fowlane. We are there in the story, and I'll get like these people that are like, oh my god, you know, it's annoying. It's like they think I'm these, you know, there's that thing on YouTube of people try to make videos that are 10 minutes 1 second, right? Because that's the optimal way to do for ads or whatever. And so I think because that's like a thing, people feel like they could be these arbiters of content and judges, because clearly everyone who makes a long video is just doing it to siphon ad revenue, right? Like, which is just so crazy. So it means they're allowed to be judgy, and I'm the villain. Like, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters anymore. I'm the villain because I tried to express the fullness of a topic, and it's annoying. Anyway, and it's not like I get really that mad. Maybe if you get me ranting about it, a bit will come out, but it's just more like every day. It's like, oh, it's this video this time. Oh, it's this video. It was actually that discussion about Mountgate. Oh, yeah, Mountgate as well. That was similar. Actually, no, I'll tell you what. Mountgate isn't similar. The Mountgate video, I've had very few people saying get to the point on. I wonder why not. I'll tell you probably why on the Mountgate video. Maybe I'll watch it and see that I disclaimed it better at the start and prepared people mentally for it. But I reckon that the Mountgate video doesn't get it because everyone was in like one of these big bandwagon outrages and felt it was important. And we desperately had to talk about it. So if you have that, if people have been whipped up into a hysteria, into a frenzy, justified or not, if they're in that like state, then they want the depth. It's just when they don't really care very much that all of a sudden someone going in... You're not allowed to go in depth on a topic if people don't care about it. And that's the point. Who cares really about an old MMO's gear progression or whatever? Who cares really if I go too in depth about the personal story, you know? That's when people will say get to the point kind of thing, I think what it is people click the Zero to Hero sum up video because they want maybe, I don't know, maybe they the thing is, I know at the start of that video I said this is not a guide on how to get ascended gear and stuff. I know that that's there. I'm pretty sure that's there. So I don't think it's people who are like just looking for that. Anyway. Yeah, the main thing that happened with the Mountgate video. Sorry, this is a bit boring. Chat has distracted me and all my plans that we were going to do. The main thing with the Mountgate video was not get to the point. It was people realized I wasn't angry, and that made them angry very quickly. That was the main thing. So within a couple of seconds, the video was... It was really interesting with Mountgate, though, because when it first came out, I got, like, a lot of hate and, like... Oh, you hypocrite, and blah, blah, blah. But then it, like, all evaporated over the next following days and stuff. And I never get anything bad about that video anymore. I get, like, nothing but... People are generally really, really... What the hell is going on with my skimmer here? People are really nice about the Mountgate video now. And they basically were... Ever since the... Basically, there were 2 days of people raging. And then after that, everyone was like, no, WP's got a point. That sounds very arrogant, but that's basically the situation that video's in. And I never get anyone saying anything mean about it anymore. I'm getting rather annoyed by the biased, draconian forum mod rants that occur more and more frequently on Reddit. Folks just need to realize that there's a way to provide constructive criticism without using loaded or passive-aggressive words. Guild Wars 2 forums are well worth visited, and many discussions there do genuinely offer nice insight and community interaction. I really like you saying that, Cottage. So I haven't ever really talked about that. That's like another one of the Guild Wars controversy things, right? But the thing is, I'm not an avid enough forum user to know. My suspicions always have been what you just said, and that's that people are assholes. I mean, if you use the internet long enough, I think you realize that everyone thinks they're much better at rhetoric than they actually are. Like, loaded comments and subtle digs and presumptions stated as facts. They're everywhere in discussion threads and forums, whether it's Reddit, no matter where it is. That kind of snide, and I do it as well. That rhetoric, right? That like, oh, I can get people to believe that my version of the argument's best because I'll slip this in here, or I'll slip that in there. I'll casually and quietly cast aspersions on the competency of the devs, stuff like that. That's everywhere. People all post it, thinking that they've got one over because it's like such a like implicit subtle thing that they've got one over on the reader, but it's so obvious. No one's as good at it as they think they are. Very few people are as good at it as they think they are. And basically, yeah, my suspicions, and I haven't talked about it, and I probably never will because I don't use the forums enough. My suspicions are that people are generally antagonistic and blatantly so. And eventually they get banned for it. And then they whine that they're getting banned on the merits of their discussion. Then they whine and they make the boogeyman and they say, oh, it's about the topic. It's censorship on the way people feel about their game and stuff. But really, it's that they were an asshole. Or a bit snide or a bit... And that's my suspicions that that's nearly always what will have been happening with the forums. And then it's easy to go to Reddit and whine about it because there's a lot of other similar people there. Who are in the same situation. It's one of the contributors to why Reddit's getting worse and worse over the years. I do think that. Here's where I'm genuinely mad at the Guild Wars 2 forum mods. And you guys suck, alright? Here's where they suck, and I hate them, and everyone should hate the forums. It's because their moderation to cull away that has unfortunately led to everyone going to Reddit. And Reddit's gone downhill. I remember way back in the day... when we were all on Guild Wars 2 Guru, and the devs announced that they were going to do an official forum, because they didn't for Guild Wars 1. There wasn't an official forum back then. They announced they were going to do an official forum. This tree looks amazing with the reflection. I remember when they did that, a lot of people were saying, oh, we're going to lose our community. But a lot of other people said, no, don't worry. Literally all the morons and the angry, frothing people will be on the forums, and these fan sites... will have the more mellowed out, more dedicated, more slow to, you know, more... Don't worry, we'll be better, because all the crap people will be over there. All the poor discussion will be over there. This is good for us. I remember people saying that, and essentially that principle is what was at work with Reddit as well, which was why Reddit was really good for a while, and why Reddit continues to get worse. That's part of it, I think. Also just because Reddit's getting more mainstream, so more and more... cursory people, let's call them that, are getting whipped up into stuff. And Reddit's not terrible, and no individual, and Reddit's very hard to sum up, but I think you can talk about a kind of direction for the community in general in those terms. I think you can do that. Yeah, so that's why the forums suck, because the moderation is too good. I mean, that's a bit rich for me to say, because I don't really use the forums, so maybe they are terrible, maybe they are draconian. And let's not be our own little echo chamber. If someone in chat wants to call us out on that, is there someone in chat who got banned on the forums? Do you want to post what you got banned with, and we'll judge, we'll decide, we will see? Is it true that they're just... I mean, and I'm sure that they've made mistakes, because everyone makes mistakes. I'm sure that the mods have had bad days where they've banned people for very, very minor things. Have I checked out any rad new Guild Wars 2 Facebook groups? No, I haven't. You didn't get banned on the forums, but you think your criticisms are valid. Reddit is great for reading a list of headlines, but the first rule of the internet is don't read the comments. There are good comment sections out there, though, man. There are. I mean, you're in one. You're literally, you're contributing. You just put a comment on this stream, and you're having fun, aren't you? They do exist. I try I mean, I talk about this on too many streams. I try really hard with my YouTube comments to make sure that the right kind of discussions are going on there. Like in Discord, we have a. By the way, plug to Discord. You can join Discord for Winner Potatoes community stuff. We have there's a link in Discord in Twitch at the moment. We have a channel over there for latest video discussion, and someone last night posted a link to some comment. Some guy had said, "You guys, dead game." It was like a comment like that, right? And those appear all the time. Dead game, lol. Dead game. Somebody pay attention to me. Dead game. And whenever I see comments like that on YouTube, I just remove them because it's like it does nothing. All it's gonna do is someone's gonna get baited into discussing it, and that's not the discussion I care about. And it always ends up just into slap fights. So I just always remove comments like that. There's probably a few out there from early on in the channel, but there's nothing new to come to the table with that. So so I just remove comments like that. And I'm very, very careful and quick to remove that kind of just shit, basically, which you have to moderate. But on our Discord, someone saw it before I removed it, and they posted it in the Discord channel, and they wanted to have a discussion about it and stuff. Well, not really. Well, I think they did. I think they wanted to talk about the prospect of it. And when that happened on Discord, I just left it there because I was like, oh, if people want a real chat, then fine. But if it's a blatant troll. So you do actually have to control this kind of stuff, like... and you can have good comment sections. The thing is, if you leave the world just to its own devices, it's too chaotic. There needs to be, like, quite a lot of regulation in a lot of areas of life. A lot. Like, I'm a big believer in it, and increasingly so, the more years I spend with a career on the internet. Because people are just... I mean... It's a surprise civilization has come as far as it has, let me put it that way. It's a good thing that such a thing as a hierarchy was invented, evolved, created. You go, I mean. You're the opposite. Leave people unregulated in most, if not all, things. I mean, you're welcome to believe in that, and you can decide if you enjoy YouTube comment sections that do that. I mean, they're a dime a dozen. They're out there everywhere. Twitch chats that just are completely unfettered messes of just shit, and you see how much value they offer to the world. I'll tell you, as far as I can see so far, it's very little. You gotta keep your eye on that stuff. What is this mail? I always get scared reading mails while I'm on stream. Yeah, because what is this? Someone's joining the club. Are you watching the stream right now? I don't actually do this. Look how many non-player mails I have here. Yeah, if you actually want to do this, I will after the stream. But 75 linseed, that's pretty cool. Thanks, man. I like it when people do linseed now, because most people do like 50 ectos or something, which is like nothing anymore. But linseed's still got its value as far as I know. So 75 of that's a lot. So whoever this is, I'll give you a proper response. They might not even be watching the stream, so whatever. Okay, let's stop sailing around now. I have another story for you all. So if you want to talk about the topic we've been talking about any longer, you got a few seconds, and then we're going to move on. So it's something pretty exciting. It's mostly a tease, but just because I want to make real videos out of it, probably. But I do want to talk about something, and particularly there's a YouTuber out there called Roleski, who I don't know whether he watches my streams or he watches With Potatoes too. I know he watches the LP or sometimes does. He might be really interested to hear what I have to say. Some would argue this Twitch chat is unmoderated. Coming from our mods. I mean, we don't mod much on Twitch, and I grant you that, but my Twitch is like this really nice little thing at the moment where we're quite small on Twitch compared to YouTube. So, and the people who come are quite like, they're quite on the ball. Like, you guys to know the stream time, to know to be here at this time, or, you know, like, so we don't really have much chance to just catch the attention of lots of randoms, you know. However, such as when we did the big PvP tournament, you know that there's going to be a ton of morons there and completely toxic twats. And for that reason, moderation, you saw it, Rav. Like, we were very careful. We're like, we're going to moderate the hell out of this. We did the giveaways, which drowned chat to the point where that wasn't a problem anyway. But, yeah, you know, so kind of depends. This chat is moderated. What a bet I don't get banned for spamming this. If Valen types that again, Rav, I give you permission to ban him for a week. Ban him for a week, baby. Get him out of there. If he does it again. Oh, one half got timed out. One half can be really choly sometimes and dickish. So I'm not surprised with that. All right, okay. So, yeah, okay. Moving on from moderation. So, I guess here's one way we can do this. Listen. I'm just loading something up here. Okay. Oh, he just took a jab at me. Really? Oh, whisper me what he said. I want to have. Was it a big jab? Oh God, am I going to be really sad about it? I am a bit scared of one half because they have been really mean in the past, if I remember rightly, or just blatantly rude. Like, they're one of those mixed bag people that sometimes has really nice contributions and sometimes it's like, wow. If I remember, I don't know. I might be thinking of someone else though. I'm loading something, guys. So the whole listen thing, you just wait a second. It's taken a lot longer to load than I anticipated. I should have anticipated because it's a pretty meaty thing. This is actually related to something we discussed last when we were doing the no skill challenge, I think. Yeah, so Raleski is a Guild Wars YouTuber who you should definitely go check out because we don't have enough of them. Who specializes, among other things, but specializes in collecting ambient dialogue in the game. So you know how my Let's Play videos open and end? They do that for the entire video. There's no commentary or anything. It's just a way to listen and learn and get a lot more out of the area. Now, as much as I put into my Let's Play, you know, we only have a finite amount of time. I've got to play the game. And the devs put a ton of dialogue into Guild Wars 2. So you can watch his videos and it's like, oh, okay, you want to know everything they say in Divinity's Reach? Boom, here it is. And he does it for the expansions and stuff as well. It's hard, let me tell you. I've given you all the anecdotes you need to know about how annoying it is getting that audio. A lot of audio still is not on the wiki. And so, listen.
You know, I want to raise my kid like we did in Blood Legion, but it's tough.
Yeah, we need more Ferrars here. Who's gonna train our kids?
I could train him at home, but he needs to grow up with a war band.
If he's hanging out with Sovari and Asura, he's gonna be weak.
But he still has to know how to trade with them, right? He's got to work with them.
No one said living here was gonna be easy.
I'm taking the Asura Gate back to the Black Citadel.
That ain't cheap. You taking your kid back home?
Yeah, I want him to see what a Char City looks like.
But he still needs a warband. Cubs are gonna pick fights with him left and right.
That's the idea. He's gonna see what life was like for his old man.
Have you heard any news about Logan Thackeray lately?
No. I assume he's still sitting at the Queen's side.
That's where I would be if I was him.
I heard Kate was in town the other day.
Really? Did you actually see her?
You never see Kate unless she wants you to.
Right. So that won't have been that exciting. And like I said, this is more of a tease than anything else. But basically, with a lot of help from Shaman, in deciphering ArenaNet's format, the pack structure, and turning it into MP3s and mining in Tyria 2D. I've spent probably 9 to 15 hours over the past few days audio data mining, which means browsing through something like 14,000 different audio files, each of which has anywhere between a single line of voice acting to like 10 lines of voice acting. So I now have, you know, like probably, well, maybe I can see actually. Let me look at the archive I've now got. How many items are in it? If I go here and I go to here, I have 88,232 MP3 files I'm looking at in an archive right now. 88,232. Every single one of those MP3 files is a line of voice acting for core Guild Wars 2. That's right. Do you guys remember before the game came out, they did that thing where they were like, yeah, we've got like 40 movies worth of dialogue for the game, yeah, and then they never really harped on it that much. Seriously, they recorded 88,000 lines of dialogue for the core game. That includes all of the, and that's just English. That's just English. So that's not German, that's not French, which were the other languages. And way back when, did you know this? They actually did Korean voices, but never released it. So how much fucking money did they waste on that? I couldn't even tell you. But that's like all the different players, all of the personal story, all the dynamic events, all the open world, everything. And there's quite a lot of fascinating stuff in there. Now, what's extra cool about this is having figured out how to do it. Now, you guys know I have a collection of different .dats, and so does Shaman. Well, the archive I have of 88,000 is from one of the beta weekend events. Shaman specifically had this stat, right? So it's a lot of dialogue from the game way back when. Now, you might wonder, why have you done that with the potatoes? Well, if you remember on the streams last weekend, I was talking about this, or the one before, Lion's Arch. Buried in the 88,000 are old LA dialogue files. Now, here's a funny thing. When the devs built New Lion's Arch back in 2015 or whatever it was, all the old audio files no longer played because the NPCs had been moved or killed or reshuffled and whatnot, and the areas of the world were different. And sometimes, you know, they're building things, and now that stuff's not being built because the whole city's different. So you might think, well, what did ArenaNet do there then? Is all the voice files still in our 2018 clients? Because it's still like the marker for them is still there. But no, they actually went back. When that update went through, they went back, or I guess when Scarlet destroyed the place, and blanked. That was the term Shaman used to describe it. Blank, because he looked at like the file, right? All of the dialogue. So the marker for by Ogden's hammer, what savings, is now just blank. So the only way to get old LA dialogue is to data mine from an old .dat, which is what I've done. So one thing that I've learned from making the Let's Play is there's a ton of dialogue out there that even now in 2018 is not on wiki anywhere. Players just haven't found it, or the ones that haven't been wiki contributors, so it's not there. So you might be thinking to yourself, okay, it's spotchy at best. You know, there's a ton of Darren Fields dialogue that we've never heard, that's in game that we can hear but is not on wiki. So what are the odds that in the brief window, respectively speaking, of 2 years when old LA existed, that wiki contributors got it all? Was actually very low. So what I'm telling you is that there's a lot of probably unheard dialogue for the vast majority of the Guild Wars 2 player base, especially here in 2018, from old Lion's Arch, that you may not have heard for years, may not have ever heard, and certainly isn't documented on wiki, that is now on my hard drive, buried within 88,000 different files. So I told you that I've spent a lot of different hours, what did I say, 9 to 15? Listening through said 88,000. Technically, when I did it, it was less files, but there were lots of audio bundled together. It was before we extracted the packs apart. But basically, I spent many hours going through the entire selection of audio to find Old LA. And I did it. I successfully did it. So what you listen to there, with the Char talking about going back, with some Sylvari talking about Keith, with some humans talking about Logan, that is old Lion's Arch audio that, as far as I know, isn't in New LA. It could also be in New LA. Sometimes they repeated it. So, for example, there were some children that used to play out in these rocks out of the water here. I'm not sure exactly where they are, but there are some kids that like toss stones and things, probably around some of these caves or something. They were in old LA and said certain dialogue, and they're in New LA and say the same dialogue still. So like these mercenaries, maybe they're kids. There's like some kids around. So there are a couple of rare examples of dialogue that survived and went across. But a lot of it's not there anymore. So now that I've got them all, basically I spent ages first finding where the old LA stuff is, then figuring out where the beginning of the block is and where the end of the block is of all of the audio, which I also did. So, does anyone in chat, just look, well, I'll do some interactivity. Does anyone in chat want to guess how much audio, just in terms of raw people speaking, voice actors speaking and delivering lines, in terms of runtime, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, how much audio there is in just the city of Lion's Arch when the game came out? Before they started adding the consortium stuff, before they added the whales washing up and the Karka and the South Sun Cove things, and before all the Halloween stuff got added, just at launch, old LA, how long, if you were just to listen to the NPCs speaking, in terms of runtime, how long is that? You guys can guess in chat. How much do you think there is there for the game? We're talking about one city here, guys. So 8 hours is nuts. 13 out, 500 hours. You guys are ridiculous. Okay, everyone's guessing way too much. An hour solid of people speaking. An hour in Lion's Arch. Jesus Christ. Okay, it's 40 minutes. All right, this is annoying. You guys suck. It's 40 minutes, okay? And that's impressive, all right? You're all insane. It's 40 minutes solid of what you just listened to. No breaks, okay? So if I play that back to you, it's just like line into line into line into line. There's no like breath between when we stop listening to one conversation and go to another. It's just perpetually. Think about like not even TV shows have dialogue that dense that just goes on and on and on and on and on. Anyway, it's 40 minutes solid of audio buried within all this stuff, okay? And I would estimate that there's maybe about 100 to 250 different conversations, somewhere in that ballpark, between different NPCs all over the city. And of course, so that's all hidden in there. So Benji just said, please tell me you found a way to automate organizing all of it. Well, no. See, here's the thing. You can mine the actual information, but you can't mine how ArenaNet has the game engine point to where things are supposed to play and stuff. So it's just a big jumbled mess. All that they've generally got it organized with is, generally speaking, all of the old LA stuff is together. There might be some other blocks of it hidden elsewhere in the 88,000, but the majority of it is all together. Beyond that, though, it's structured that it goes by voice actor, then by location, then by conversation. So what they have is one voice actor goes into a booth and reads all of his lines, but that one voice actor might be voicing a Char here who's in the middle of a conversation with a human, and then a Char here who's starting a conversation with another Char, and then the Char replying, and then the Char replying, and then a Char over here, and then another Char at Fort Mariner, and then another Char, and then a Norn, because he does the Norn voices as well over here, and then, oh, he also happens to be the ghost of Sharkmoor Caverns. And you hear just his segment of these conversations, and then the next voice actor goes in the booth, and it's the Sylvari, and you hear her section, and it follows the same order. So it would go Western Ward. Well, it all starts at the Eastern Ward, actually, to tell the truth, and then it goes over here, and then it goes, and then what you have to do is like interweave all the conversations back together based on thingy, and it's a mess. And some of it's easy because Wiki has the information, but some of it was never documented by Wiki, so you have no idea. So, basically, what I'm doing is just slowly working through it. And I predict it will take a few months. But in the evenings, I'm just going, because it's quite fun, I'm just sort of reorganizing things in the timeline and building some conversations. So what you listen to here on the stream is some conversations that I've built already from Old LA. And I'm going to go through all of them. Once I've got them all done, once I've got all 40 minutes shuffled together to where it should correctly be in the correct order instead of just a mess, I will release it. And so how I release it, I don't know how I'll exactly do that. What I kind of want to do is go to Old LA in a personal story instance. And it used to be that if you throttled your upload speed to Guild Wars 2, let me just show you. Here. This character will be okay. It's Claw Island that this guy's on, because I use Claw Island for quite a lot of things in the LP. So give me a second. I'm gonna come back in now. Have an Old LA interior 3D. I did think about that, Benji, but interior 3D doesn't do lighting very well. It doesn't do anything very well, really. So let me go this. Oh my god, did we have a sub? I don't think I've had one this stream ever yet. Let me check. Thank you very much. Let me read that. So when you're in an instance, you get the box, right? The box of doom that tells you, hey, you're not allowed to, you know, go out of bounds. Now, it used to be that if you throttled your upload speed via the process manager, a third-party tool, or even you used to just be able to go windowed mode and right-click the window and it would work. When you hit this, the game wouldn't know because on the server you're still here. But on your client you can walk through and you could swim around freely. Then when you toggle the user interface off, that message disappears. So in theory, if that's still possible, and I haven't done it for years, if it's still possible, I can load into any old LA instance, turn off post-processing, and I'll get access to all of Old LA. And then what I can do is set the camera up just as like a cinematic thing like this, and guess it to where various NPCs might be, and then play the audio in the background. You still wouldn't have the actual NPCs on screen, or their text boxes on screen, or their gesturing on screen, or if they refer to something or they move around, none of that would really work anymore. But it would be a somewhat maybe immersive way of doing it. And then at the end of that, I could have one big video that is a Roleski style video, essentially, where we put it online and say, there you go, this is Old LA, here's all the old information. And in it, I would definitely take the time at the start to credit Shaman Roleski as well, that his series was absolutely an inspiration. I wouldn't even know that format of video is interesting until I'd seen that he was doing them. But it would be like from a cutting room floor preservations type thing. And in it, you'd hear lots of old dialogue you haven't heard for years, but also maybe some new stuff that you didn't even know. In fact, guaranteed stuff you didn't know existed. So yeah, that's something I've been doing now. Now. One final thing that I will say nothing more about, but I would like you guys to listen. Let me scroll. I'll just be clear, Shaman got maybe 40 to 50 tweets from me last night as I was listening. Because to find Old LA, I was browsing through the entire beta.dat. So, where is it? So, Listen to this.
Shake it off! Fear me! On my mark! Fire! Bring the flames! Immolate! Shake it off!
That's a Char male warrior reading out the the warrior shout skills. And you might have heard that some of the shouts there weren't the same as what we get in-game. Similarly...
Behold, I am your doom. Power, blood, corruption, darkness. Behold.
That's a female Sylvari necromancer reading out the names of all of the wells in the game, even though that doesn't actually play. They never implemented that in the end. So what you should learn here is there's a lot of stuff in this client that we had in the betas that the devs were playing with but never did. Listen to this.
The red team has captured Woodhaven. The blue team has captured Woodhaven. The green team has captured Woodhaven. We've taken Dawn's Eyrie. We've lost Dawn's Eyrie.
So World versus World players will know that that's referring to World versus World objectives. And last of all, there's so many I could pick from. But I know what one I want. Come on, where are you? Oh my god, TweetDeck, you suck. Hold on, guys. Don't tune out just yet. It's worth the wait. I'm gonna go to actual Twitter now because I've sent so many messages. TweetDeck isn't logging them anymore. So I've got to scroll loads and load it all. Scrolling. Alright, here we go. You ready?
Look! Saitan's falling apart! Let's help him along! Somebody shatter that thing before it becomes a serious problem! Anyone who's ready for a piece of Saitan, this is your chance!
There aren't enough of you moldy beggars in the entire world to slow us down.
I'm the little Norn who fought her way here from the Brand.
I'm a soldier, but I can challenge a Char. I can fight him in the arena.
Look! Saitan's falling apart! Let's help him along!
That audio was added to Guild Wars 2 between the creation of Queensdale and Blaze Ridge Steps, which suggests to me that after the devs had created Queensdale and prototyped how it would look in the early game areas, they immediately concepted the end of the game, and they probably created some dynamic events about taking down the Elder Dragon, and that's content we've never seen. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's genuinely a ton. There's stuff to do with like the royal family that never made it in there. There's, I mean, it's crazy. It really is. So, who knows what else we'll find in 88,000 files. But, this is the kind of stuff I really get off on. So maybe we'll do some videos on that at some point. Be like a return to when we were data mining the old maps, and we can talk about how that stuff went. There's also, I mean, there's a lot. There's more stuff to do with Ore and Ara and the dungeons and all kinds of stuff. Don't tell me there's Tengu voice lines. There aren't Tengu voice lines. No. I'm pretty sure they made their decision to cut the Dominion of Winds way before the Tengu. But before they started voice acting, that was old. So don't worry about that. I'm pretty sure there are no Tengu voice lines. I haven't found any anyway yet. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna be. So the total runtime of the entire game in terms of just raw audio is probably some beastly amount. I mean, I couldn't even. It's at least like 40 hours at least. LA is a tiny fraction of the entire thing. But But yeah, there's loads of stuff. There's voice acting. You know, the World versus World ones. There's voice acting for the orb mechanic that obviously got cut quite quickly. There's, I mean, yeah. What version of the beta was this? You had one where they watermarked your email address across your screen to stop you screenshotting. The press beta did that. You're talking about, Benji, and all their alphas before that did that. The actual beta weekend event this is from, though, which there were 3. It's either beta weekend event 2 or 3. I don't know which. It's again, this is actually one of Shaman's dats. Yeah, Cossage, I was digging for the 5th dwarf-related path. I was digging for that. I was. But I didn't find anything to do with that. I did find some other stuff, though. Path 2 has a ton of cut. And nothing's particularly amazing about it. But Path 2 has tons of cut dialogue from Scholar Yisa as she's researching the Massar and the Inquest being there and stuff. There's loads of flavor dialogue that they just never put in the dungeon in the end. Just her running around saying, oh, let's dig up this and oh, let's do that, you know. But it's all cool and it's all video worthy, I think. This feels like when you learned about the obscure, amazing lore on Arachnia, but then again, not being a canon thing. So, yeah. I mean, I love it. This is what it's all about, guys. This is what it's all about. How cool is this? I'm glad you guys are pretty thrilled about that. That's what I spent the vast majority of my nights doing last night and the night before, in addition to the LP stuff and whatnot. And I got to play some Stellaris. Busy bee, right? Okay, cool. Path of Fire is a thing too. We were going to play a bit of that, so let's do that. The stream's well over an hour and we haven't even started. Is that the Norn captain? No, that's not. But, oh, guys. Oh, I can't do it. I can't. I want to make videos on this. I'm not going to show you it all yet. I want to make videos. But I've got some stuff to say about Urar's story. I'll just leave it there. Also, by the way, Shaman showed me something 4 years ago. Shaman was doing Shaman's like a god. Can I just be clear? You guys have no idea like how intelligent and dedicated and hardworking that man is. What this community, what he has helped me with, what he has helped this community with. It's actually insane. If you go to Shaman's SoundCloud 4 years ago, he was doing a similar thing to this. I mean, he's done other cut things before. He's got videos on YouTube of the Miyani cut content and whatnot. But he found... Let me just Control H, look for it. Here, the devs were once... I think this is a waste of time and money as well. I don't know what dev thought this was a good idea. They never went with it. But listen to this. This is something else the devs were doing for a while. I didn't find this. This has been on Shaman's SoundCloud. Only 1,000 people over the years have listened to this and know about this. So check this out. And it's through Shaman. I did not find these. He did. Ages back. Listen.
You have reached Care Shadowfane. All piracy will be dealt with by assassins in black outfits. You have reached Reason Grove Point. I feel more manly just telling you this. You have reached a completely normal, unsuspicious location. You are under surveillance. You have successfully reached Vigil Keep. Please take all prisoners to the rear entry. You have reached Durman Priory. Remember, all contributions to the libraries are non-returnable. You have arrived in Rata Sum. Please report all suspicious inquest activity. You have arrived in Thistlereed Grove. If I dream, will I see electric sheep? You have reached Dry Ground Village. The Hylics need you in their fight against the undead. Greetings. You have reached Grey Gritta's post. Watch your step. You are in Dry Ground Village. You have reached Fort Trinity. You have arrived in Snowdrift Haven. You have arrived in Divinity's Reach. You have arrived at Dawnright Estate. You have arrived in Decider Atum. You have arrived in Firth of Ravanion. You have arrived in Summit Peak. You have reached Ashford Forum. You have arrived in Mabon Market. You have arrived in Refuge Sanctum. You have entered Marat Baru. You have reached Kino Deca 4.
Alright, there you go. So yeah, I mean, that speaks for itself really, doesn't it? It seems like the devs at some point were going to put a golem announcer whenever you got... I mean, I think Shaman theorized it was whenever you got a waypoint. because obviously it's supposed to be a sewer technology or whatever. But they didn't in the end. The other theory I have is that was a Living World add-on, I think. That was after the game came out. Someone was pissing about doing that. Living World in Season 1 in a nutshell, right? My theory is if it definitely... I don't know the timings, but if that was Living World Season 1, I wonder if it was to do with the Hobotron backpack. And that backpack would say that, and that it would talk that much as you wandered around the world, which would be quite an incredible length to go to for a single item on the gem store. And yeah, at most locations, I think he'd just say you arrived there, but sometimes he'd add like an extra little joke, like the "Do androids dream of electric sheep?" or whatever. Wait, hold on. Do androids dream of electric? What was the movie that got made? I can't remember what movie that was. Anyway, and that's frustrating me. It's on the tip of my tongue right now. So yeah, there's lots of stuff in there, and I have to stop saying that now. Now, all right, back over to the Path of Fire thing. We were gonna do a die competition for our next character, so it wasn't up to me. But none of you have submitted anything, as far as I know. If someone did submit something, please tell me now, because I genuinely didn't catch you. Which would be a bit of a problem. And I'm going to have to do it myself. Oh god, I have to scroll a lot. Did people really type that much with a thing, or am I scrolled up a ton? Oh, maybe I accidentally scrolled up a lot in Twitch chat. Okay, so this is only beta stuff, so I don't know about Heart of Thorn stuff. I don't know Living World. I don't know any of that, because that's... and the devs, by the way, with new content, they like encrypt and obfuscate and hide dialogue really well now. So you can't mine it, so it can't be spoiled. Or if you do try and mine it, the leather looks really good there. If you do try and mine it, it's like really difficult. So, yeah. Very royal and aristocratic. I mean, this is just with die remover, right? I don't remember. I mean, I could just leave it, you know. I really could. What do you guys think? Should I just say fuck it? This is an off-the-wall question, but what map has the most separate types of meta events in the same map? Separate types of meta events? Well, most maps only have 2 meta events. If you've just added the word meta there, but you just mean what map has the most different kinds of events, full stop, I would speculate it's either Queensdale or Blazeridge, because those maps being the initial development maps, the devs did lots of different stuff, and they played around with what the game was capable of and what dynamic events were capable of in a huge way. So you see a lot of weird mechanics. You see bonus objectives and things long before they were revived for expansion content. You see loads of weird things in those maps. So it's either Blazeridge or Queensdale, I think. And perhaps this early ore concept they did. Oh yeah, and then Heart of Thorns, obviously. The expansion stepped their game up a lot. HOT might be a really good one. If you, especially like Tangled Depths, if you think about how complex each of the different lanes metas are before then becoming the big meta with the Garrett and stuff. I don't know, maybe that's really good. Well, there's 2 things on my mind here. I want it to look good, but I also want it to look distinct from what our other episodes were. So, I'm not really sure. I also don't really want to use gem stores stuff. Not really. As cool as doing the double... Should we do the fire and ice? Maybe we should. Should we do the double axes? People would probably enjoy that. What back piece haven't we done yet? Could put the sand jackal on there for the first time in a while. He wasn't there on chapter 1, was he? I mostly like him with the Omicron tonic thing. Zardan says, kind of off-topic question, but can I buy... And then I skipped ahead and read desktop PC. I thought you were asking to buy my PC there. Can I buy some desktop PC for around 600 euros that has good FPS in this game? Yeah, man, easily. So many rigs can get good FPS. You just turn culling off, shadows off, and reflections off, and you get incredible FPS. Honestly, yeah, easy. 600 euros? I have a feeling, Cottage, that they wouldn't have put Malik stuff in, or Nightmare Court or Foul Lane. I really don't feel like Heart of Thorns, that stuff will have got that far in production. Heart of Thorns, to me, it was a sign of extreme conservatism from the writer's room, because they had a limited amount of time with a limited budget to squeeze that expansion out as soon as they finished making Living World, and they had to work like fucking hamsters on a wheel, and they had to go super quick, super fast. So I think they had to really cut what they considered fat, but we all know was actually some juicy muscle, and they got rid of a ton of stuff that. So I just can't imagine that it was a last moment decision to cut. I think it would have been, we don't have the time or budget for this, it cannot exist at all. I feel like that's probably more the side of it than anything else. I could be wrong. I'll run the Sunspear gear again, I guess. That mace looks awesome. That's actually one of the coolest Sunspear maces in the game. That actually looks genuinely dangerous. Most of them look like live action roleplay toys. That looks like it would actually grind your... It would destroy you. Look at it. I'm sure someone would be like, nah, it's too ornate. Nah, it wouldn't work. But listen, guys, that is Orichauchum, okay? The ultimate RPG metal, Orichauchum. How can I say that in a more annoying way? So it won't break. You can do that kind of stuff. All right, this is Tyria. Yuendo, thank you very much, man. Bring back the commander or unsub. Wait, what? Bring the commander back. Who's the commander? What do you mean? This is the commander. Natalie, the commander. What else did we have? So Mortralis subbed with Amazon Prime. Thank you so much, dude. Harry Guild Wars 20 minutes ago. Hope all is well, WP. Sounds like a good project. Looking forward to the result. Thank you. I'm not really making any promises because it is kind of a bit of a tedious thing, but I will see what I can do. Times Lament, thank you very much. Yeah, there you go. Times Lament with the T2 sub. The ultimate baller. Naroj with a T2 sub as well, coming in at the same time. Thank you very much. To Be Continued subbed earlier as well. A Lotus subbed earlier. One more month down. Thank you very much, dudes. Tormik for the first time ever subbed earlier, and that's it for the day. But thank you so much, anyone who considered doing that. And if you are watching the stream and enjoying it, it makes it well worth my time if you guys do stuff like that. So thank you. Yeah, so Benji said in chat there about VA coming really late. Yeah, you do. You pronounce Orichauchum incorrectly. They're Sigils, Ruins, Orichauchum, Tyria, Lysa, Leviathan, Behemoth. "13 months in and I still get called Harry Guild Wars. Haha, it's just my initials." Listen, Harry Guild Wars. It's not my fault that your initials are Guild Wars. Listen, you should be less of a crazy Raven fan. What's the thing that I'm missing for world completion here? Do I have Ella McKay's? I do have Captain Keel's office, but I'm still missing a POI. What POI am I missing in LA? Oh, really? The Breachmaker? That's crazy that I'm missing that. That shows that I got world completion on this warrior before Season 1 came in and the Breachmaker destroyed everything. So I have a very eclectic mix of missing POIs. I wonder what my one other missing one is. It's probably Scarlet's thing under Dermot Priory then, right? Maybe? I don't know. What do you think would be the most important trait line for soloing a dungeon with a Guardian? The one that gives you 50% more crit chance while you have retail on you. Because that bypasses all scaling mechanisms and makes you a wrecking ball. And you'll just blow everything up. There's two playstyles for the dungeons. You can be attritive like you see I am on the Necro, or you can be bursty and flighty like you see on the Engineer. You'd be bursty and flighty on the Guardian, and you'd take that one. That would be that holds everything together. I'm not sure how well a Guardian would do in the attritive playstyle. Holy crap. Thanks for the free transmutation shard. And mail. Oh, what? Oh, my God. Why are you doing this? Casey was murdered. Woo! You can have that back. Thank you, though. I thought we were getting a mail from the Explorers Guild there. I was going to read out some lines Arch Law. Let's do a little bit of the story. Okay, so basically, this arc of POF is really short and light on the ground in terms of main story. So what I'll probably do is filter through some hearts and stuff. If we're happy with the way we look, we'll just go for it now. Missing one POI is hell? Not really, because what you do is you just mouse out and you mouse over the name of each map and you see, okay, 100% in Blood Tide, 100% in Queensdale, 100% in Divinities, Harathi, and you just do this until you find the 99%. Wherever it is. I speculated it was Lorna's Pass and the Determined Priory. That's not true. Here you go. It's Caledon Forest. I'm missing one heart in Caledon. That's the new one that they added, undoubtedly. So I'm missing doing that. I'm probably missing the new heart from Plains of Ashford as well. Yep. And another one. Did they add 2 hearts to the Plains of Ashford? And yeah, you just do this until you find whichever ones. So basically, Natalie is like an OG world completer, and she doesn't have all the little things that have slowly come in over the years. I'm sure someone watching this stream will be like, oh my god, I should go collect those. It's been ages. I didn't think about that. So here, it's Siren's Landing. You see, I don't have too much. Yeah, this arc is a very cool idea. It did. It just needed to be longer. That's the only difference. It's the only difference.
Commander,
when Senpai...
how are you alive? Balthazar killed you. I watched from the shadows as you fell. We knew Balthazar was having you watched, but he struck before we could send a warning. What happened after you died?
In time, I'll tell you. Where I came to be, what I saw, how I escaped, everything that happened since my death. But first, you must help me.
In exchange for that knowledge, absolutely. Anything the Order can do, name it.
I want to use Joko's army to stop Balthazar.
Commander, the Order of Shadows is powerful, accomplished, capable of near miracles. But we can't deliver an army of Awakened to you. No one, save Joko himself, can do that.
Arcani Beru could.
The Archon? I suppose Joko's marshals might follow the orders of the Archon, if those orders came from the king himself.
I have it on the best authority that they would.
But the Order has no sway with Arcana Beru. The last time we caught Joko's attention, he killed 30 of our agents.
I'll take care of Iberu. I just need to know where to find them. And Joko's marshals.
I suppose Grand Vizier Uramishi in the Bone Palace to the south would know where the marshals are. As for the Archon, the fastest and safest way to engage him would be to lure him here. But he usually considers the area south of the wall unworthy of his attention.
If he thought the Sun Spears were rebelling down here, he'd have to come running to end the threat, right?
There aren't enough Sun Spears left to stage an uprising.
Only takes one, and they don't have to be a Sun Spear. A few attacks on Awakened camps, some conspicuously placed Sun Spear banners. That would look like a Sun Spear declaration of war no matter who was responsible.
It's risky. Very risky. Be careful, Commander. Your next death could be your last.
I like how they add that last line in there. Like, they've got to start... Everyone has to do that every time you have someone, like, come back. Oh, I wish I could talk about other shows and things, but I guess they're all really big spoiler territory when a character dies and comes back to life, so I guess I won't. But, oh, is it the Jackal that's panting? You guys thought that he sounded out of breath? I'm not sure I could really hear that. How do we know the Archon is such a hot shot? The Archon was the big boy from the start of the game, when we were at the casino, right, I think? So maybe something to do with that? So yeah, Keto, what were you guys saying in chat? He never tells him. He never tells him what? I want to use Joko's army, but we can't deliver an army of Awakened to you. No one said... Oh, were you talking about something else? Anyway, someone... I said... Apparently I skipped someone's comment, so I'm gonna go look. When Senpai skips... I'm not Senpai. Do you think they'll ever make the option to remove and equip sigils on legendary weapons like in armor? No, I think that they were very clear when they last spoke about it that it was going to be too much of a hit on the economy. I think maybe if build templates are exhaustive and gold sync tied and have all kinds of fun, flavorful, interesting aspects to their implementation, they can resolve the sigil issue there, along with a ton of other itemization issues with the game. But until they come, if they come, we won't know, will we? I've got my fingers crossed for next patch.
The citizens of the Bone Strand are experiencing a rise in suspicious activity lately. Can you help?
Yes, I can. I hate this in Path of Fire. I've got to find a way to do the camera because it looks so good when you speak to people in first person. I like how we're literally, this is a ball, this is our balls. This is how our, you know, how they look at the world. Because I don't have race height toggled on. Anyway.
The Bone Strand has been cut off by the war. Despite their dedication to Joko, the villagers in Purity have seen a rise in suspicious activity, and they've had to endure more scrutiny from the Awakened at the garrison. High above Purity, the Clan Marshal and his Awakened Vizier oversee the Bone Strand from the pergola. The situation is complex. Tensions are rising. Joko's standing orders were to feed the Empire and send Awakened troops through Palawa's Cut to battle the Forged. But the road south is contested.
Pan the camera horizontally. Give us something like a Last of Us camera angle. It's been a while since I played The Last of Us. I can't remember how they do it there. We were never too much worried about food or security under King Joko, but recently there have been a lot of suspicious things happening. The villagers are unhappy, and the Awakened are acting strange. Okay, so you guys, like me, might be feeling a bit out of it at the moment, like, oh, do I really want to watch this? So let's just quickly recap where we are so that everyone's on the same page. So the departing is what we saw last. I woke up in the domain of the lost after being killed. A kind of way station for lost spirits who have not yet found their way to the underworld or their final reward. With no memory of who I was, I fought to reclaim my name and my purpose, ultimately earning the chance to return to the world of the living. Along the way, I encountered Palawa Joko himself, who had been betrayed and imprisoned in the domain of the lost by Balthazar as soon as Joko had served his purpose. King Joko tried to bargain and threaten for his freedom, but I left him where he was, though I did take him up on his suggestion of using his awakened army against Balthazar. Once I'd returned to life and rejoined my understandably shocked team, we set out to secure the support of Joko's mummified hordes. Because Joko now has Aurene, he intends to use her to kill Kraukatoric, and I returned from the Abyss to prevent that. This last line is so awkwardly added. What is that? Anyway. Make your way into the Desolation. To command Joko's troops, I needed to assume a position of authority in Joko's army. I have a plan for how to achieve that, but it requires some insider knowledge, so I'm going to speak with the Order of Shadows agent Kito. I met with Kito of the Order of Shadows and presented to him my plan. Archer and Iberu, the Mordant Crescent officer I met in Amnoon, ranks highly enough to command Joko's army in Joko's stead. Kito and I agreed. If I lure Iberu out and kill him, I can safely assume his identity and muster Joko's Awaken against Balthazar's Forge. So, we got to lure him out. We're going to replace Joko portraits at the top buildings with Sunspear propaganda, and we're going to raid their camps and fly the banner of the Sunspears, which just so happens to encourage us to do the heart here. We are genuinely at one of the most beautiful areas of POF, in my opinion.
Of creatures driven insane by ley energy are coming from
especially with the rain. Yeah. Do you have a link for your Guild Wars 2 hook settings or something? I'm currently also trying to make my game look as yours. Thanks. No, not really. This is what it is. And this is the preset I have. But the filters that I'm running, Clarity 2, you have to find that elsewhere. Adaptive Sharpen is not bundled with anything. This P1 HDR is Grenbur's. Vibrance comes with I think just regular reshade. I think ambient light is normal. The DOF is as well. But I think I've thrown my I out there. It's on my subreddit, but you have to actually search for it. But sourcing all the other stuff you kind of have to do for yourselves, I'm afraid. It might even be a little bit out of date, the old one. I'm constantly wondering whether I should tweak mine, but I feel like I might ruin it. People are so picky about contrast and like saturation levels and stuff. And usually it's because their monitor calibration is terrible, but
maybe Zuri's right.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I lose views because of it. I lose views because of it. You know what I mean? Or if I annoy people, then it doesn't matter if it's on their end. No, not Grember Rip. Not Grember Rip. Grember's back. Grember's been Devon for Guild Wars 2 Hook. I said this on a recent stream. The mirror is possible. I just need to go actually set it up. That's a whole other project, but we could do the mirror. He released a new version quite recently. I've talked to him about his ambitions upcoming. I won't speak on behalf of him because I don't want to like make promises to a community for what someone else is doing. But he's got some cool ideas. And he's still educating himself too, so there's lots of new fancy things he wants to do eventually.
Now he's idiot Drake food. People are desperate.
Desperate and afraid. And rightly so. It's been nothing but hardship here for way too long.
At least we still have each other.
Yeah, sure. Until one of us makes a run for it and joins my cousin in the belly of that Drake.
You know what I really want? I want a way to be able to scroll and affect the FOV on my screen. Like, dynamically. I want to be able to hold, like, control and scroll. And instead of scrolling this, it scrolls the FOV. How fucking cool would that be? Because then I could, like, tighten the FOV in these. I pull the FOV out while I'm in first person and then retighten it when I'm here. Can you imagine if you could just dynamically do that?
And do their own thing.
That would be so good for so many people, because we all know how many Guild Wars people just like shooting screenshots and whatnot. But there is no bind for it. Did you know the scout near the Makali outpost has very cool dialogue about the Godfell Tower and how it was raised to honor the gods when the Crystal Desert was still sea? Very interesting. No, I didn't. Wait, what? Where? Which scout? Godfell Tower. Godfell Tower. Or maybe I saw it, but I've forgotten now because everything went in one ear and out the other when it came to Path of Fire for me. Undead Servant, just moving around, doing his thing. Got lots of children. I'm sure they have some cool dialogue, but we're not going to get... Oh, they're looking around a frog. That's kind of cool. Oh, it's in the Desert Highlands. Where's Godfall Tower, though? It's not the Lonely Vigil, certainly, right? It's not down here, is it? Is there an argument against accents other than it costs more money for those VAs? Would it have been nice to talk to people in Alona and not feel like you're walking around in Queen's Tower? I think that's kind of unfair, Dargo, because a lot of people do have different accents here. It's not ubiquitous, but it is there. And most of the initial prominent NPCs you meet as well are quite thickly accented. The right-hand side. What are you face palming at? Oh, is that over here where it's fogged for me? Oh, Godfall. Oh, the Desert Highlands. Oh, I'm sure the facepalm was because I was looking at the Riverlands. It's the lands at the end that got me there. Godfall Tower. So, hold on. The scout up here talks about how that was still an island. That's really cool. I kind of want to go see it, but it's so far away that I'm not going to bother. Right, so replace the Joko portraits. This bit of the game always felt kind of like Assassin's Creed-y to me. Just like go collect the things on the rooftops kind of thing. You like to zoom in real close for the immersion. Have you tried experimenting with moving the camera to the right over the shoulder? For literally about 5 years, I had over the shoulder camera like that. But people whined about that as well. They said that it made them feel sick. So I don't know. I don't know if I can win, really. It seems people are really, really, really picky about what they're willing to watch.
Here's a perfect spot to start a fake revolution.
Okay, so we replace the banner. This guy gets pissed.
Increases.
It is really pleasant playing Spellbreaker. It's like I'm back in Corteria with how fast everything dies and how sturdy you get to be at the same time. It's just like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just kill things. Just press some buttons. Yeah, I mean, in the end, I think I will just go with what I think looks best, and I do think it's going to be first person for the cutscenes in Heart of Thorns and well, Living World Season 2 and beyond. I may have to figure this stuff out sooner than I thought, really, because as Side by Side goes away, not at the start of Heart of Thorns, it's at the end of Core.
This one's for you, Archon.
Okay. Any reason to come all the way up? Oh, a lost chest. I'll happily open that. Yeah, hotkeys with camera positions. Yeah, I mean, I remember very much that guy made that machinima tool that basically loaded up Guild Wars, but as your client, but you had complete control over like everything. So that was client side. So there was a slider. You would be a floating camera, so you could just basically make vistas anywhere you like, right? But there was like sliders, and as you move the slider to the left, the sun would like move left in the sky, and as you move the slider to the right, the sun would set, and you could play with all kinds of stuff. And the devs basically said, no, you're not allowed to do this, so it got cancelled. That was a sad day.
Justice.
Is there any chance ArenaNet will bring Dervish and Ritualist into Guild Wars 2? At least like elite specialization for Rev and Rip for Necro? I think those are kind of weird, foolhardy questions that aren't really relevant, man. Like, Guild Wars 2 functionally is such a different game to Guild Wars 1. I don't know what you're looking for when you ask for that. It can only be flavor considerations that you're asking for. But many of those flavor considerations have already been addressed and offered to you, because there are ritualist skills with ritualist-ish looking icons all over the Guardian class and all over the what the hell's it called? The Revenant already. And the same for any class you don't have those skills and things. They've already been intermixed flavor-wise through. If you're looking for the mechanics of being a ritualist, you will never get that back perfectly because the games function so different. The combat pace, the mechanics involved, it's completely different. Like, one game has energy, one game doesn't. The way aggro, the whole works is totally different. You can get close with engineered turrets, and you can get close with Carla Scorchrazor stuff, but they're not going to magically get you closer with something else. Just because you're looking for a super perfect little package where the color of the skills is super similar to Ritualist again. So, I don't know. They might make an elite spec called Ritualist, but it's kind of a really... You're setting yourself up for disappointment if you keep thinking about the game in those terms. Because they will never offer that to you. Because there's just no point. There's no way either, you know? It's a bit of a disappointing answer, I know, but...
With all these rumors of rebellion, it's only a matter of time before the Vizier and the Clan Marshal crack down.
The Clan Marshal used to be
They're
one of
already
us.
exiling people. What
I
else
thought
can they
he'd
do?
fix things.
Kill them.
Exactly.
Think
we used to
about
visit
it.
all the
Less
time and listen to
unrest,
our concerns.
more awakening.
Now I can't remember
How
the last
loud is
time
the game? I haven't been messing with the audio at all. Hasn't the game been ridiculously loud?
Do that?
He's out of touch.
I hate to say it, but maybe it's time we do something about it.
Quiet! Are you trying to get us both exiled?
I can't wait till we're getting the ambient dialogue from here. It's going to be cool. It's a shame that all overlapped. It's overlapped so bad, but hey, there you have it.
Someone stop that informant.
Right. We've almost done the heart, but we got so much more to do in terms of other objectives. But they're all like in other areas. So I guess we'll just finish the heart and it might trigger this and we'll be done.
Do you think there's some kind of...
There's a lot of players here as well. What's going on with that? Is that because Bless Online and everyone's back in POF again? You're at this point more interested in new races than new classes? Yeah, me too. I put that exact argument forward too. Because there it's like, it makes sense to care about the flavor of it. 100%. You don't sell Cantha on Ritualist, you sell Cantha on Tengu. That's how you sell Cantha. You take all that dedication and resource and effort and love that went into all those beautiful mount animations and just the sheer volume of work that came from what they did with mounts. How big dick they went with the mounts. You take all of that passion and devotion and you put that into the monumental task of building a new race. And you sell it to people with Cantha. That is how you do it. It's not with a Ritualist or whatever.
Still no luck finding your boy?
No, he hasn't turned up. It's not like him.
WP greater than the World Cup. I really want to get involved with the World Cup this year. I really do, but I don't really know. I don't really have an outlet to enjoy it. I don't really have like a community that's like super into the World Cup right now, and I'm not. I haven't watched any matches, so I don't know. Okay, so replace Joko portraits atop buildings with sunspit. Well, here's one. Oh my god, these freaking wasps! Can you go away? ANET developed Bless Online as a marketing tool. You mean Togo Legend with his bonus mission back badass skills? They could do that, definitely. I mean, that's one of the strengths of Rev, that everything's so compartmentalized. So they could. I'm not saying it won't happen, that you won't get something called a ritualist, but
King Jocko has always taken care of us.
it's not like you're just going to be playing Guild Wars 1 again and it's like, oh, I get to be my ritualist. You know, it's going to be Guild Wars 2. And if you wanted to play a character with a blindfold visually and looks like a ritualist, well, there's been a ton of ways to do that for a while now. Not just with Rev, which already has that as a big aspect of it, you know. You're Portuguese, so you can't escape from the football hype? I mean, I don't know. It is a weird thing where, like, as far as England's concerned, I don't really have high prospects. And I don't really think we're that great on the world stage. And we haven't done that great for a very long time. And, you know, I'm expecting for the most annoying. But every time it comes around, when I watch it, I get really, really competitive and into it. And I get, like, nationalistic. And it's just exciting, you know. It's a side of me that never exists otherwise. Ever. Ever. But there's something about the World Cup that does it to me. And I don't want to miss out on that experience for another, you know, for 8 years straight, basically, if you miss it 1 year. So I do want to get a bit more involved with it. One thing I loved about ESO, even though the game isn't great, is all the side quest lines. Hold on, let me kill this guy. It's really annoying. Every time I look at chat, something else spawns to attack me. They have the local faction style quests, but there is also a legitimately well-designed side quest contained each map, so they use phasing. So you do the main quest and then 100% each map for the quest line in it. That sounds cool. Like a single quest that essentially snakes you through everything. Alright, let's go up. The moon is coming out. I want to kind of follow the road up, though. I don't want to just amble up all of these, so we'll go this way. You're Portuguese and you don't get the hype? I mean, it's entertainment. That's all it is. I get a bit like it as well with the Rugby World Cup, and I prefer rugby as a sport as well. So I don't know why. I don't know why it is that football is what does it to me a bit more. I don't know. Spring has a nice walking animation. Yeah, it's essentially what they did with the Char, right? You got the 4 legs transitioning to 2 legs, which was so loved by the Char, and they did it here as well. I love that. Imagine Tengu, right? What could they do interesting animation-wise with a Tengu? They could do so much weird stuff. Like, what about, like when a Tengu has super speed, they, like, flap their wings or something, and, like, they don't fly or anything, and they don't even take off or glide, but they feel really light on their feet. Like, that's what I want to feel as a Tengu. I want to feel really light on my feet. Like, I don't want to feel heavy-footed whatsoever. I want to feel like a bird, you know. Oh, it could be so cool. And they're, like, standing around idols. They could have them, they could, like, be preening themselves and whatnot. Come on. Come on, guys. This is Guild Wars. They do that kind of stuff really well. Really well. Just literally take that Mount Team talent. I know Roy left, by the way. That was on Reddit the other day, and Roy was the Mount Team lead. I know he's gone, but look, the talent is still there. Take that Mount Team talent, and how the hell is this guy? This weakness is annoying. This weakness makes me sick. I kind of want to run Discipline just to turn off. Oh, I am on Discipline. Hold on. So what would I be turning off? Oh, this, obviously. Brawler's Recovery, then. Good. Tear down this camp. Tengu would have a sneaky sort of walk to them. I mean, we do have the example Tengu's already in the Tengu already in the game. I know some of you are going to say that. You're going to be, WP, but it's not really there. But, you know, the point of doing a new race is to expand on that massively, right? And to update things and, you know, give it a 2000... Wait for it. The 2019 treatment, yeah? Does anyone in chat, if they added Tengu, does anyone in chat already have an idea of what tribe they'd play? Because I do. I know 100% I'd be a Quetzal straight away. That's it. There's no question I'd be a Quetzal. And in my heart of hearts, what I really hope will happen is that no one else picks Quetzal. I want very, very few people picking Quetzal. I want to be like one of the special guys that's like, yeah, the green Tengu, badass bitches. I want to be a hipster Quetzal. That's what I want to be. So you're not allowed to say that in chat, but Quetzal 1,000 times. Angchu, that's respectable, being an Angchu. Any Kuromi fans out? This is a pretty nerdy conversation right here. Any Kuromi fans out there? If I didn't play a Quetzal, I'd play a Sinsali. I just love the idea of being like the more, and as long as they're still quite antagonistic and like, but self-righteous as well. Like, see, we were right all along. Because in Guild Wars 1, the Sensali were the bad guys, the bad Tengu, but they were kind of right to be, considering how xenophobic and crazy the Canthans became. So I like the idea of being a Sensali that's like, you know, smug. Maybe they're the more prominent of the clans. The thing is, Arena don't have the Guild Wars 2 lore as well, that it's like your northwest, south, or east winds or something, don't they? I think there's a thing about that. So this, by the way, here you can already see the Desolation's really weird. Really, it should be story up here, and we explore these areas a bit or whatever. And then we have like some kind of an instance introducing us to the Sulphur or whatever. An actual bit of story, and then story like here with the Dark Clans, and then there's like an instance to do with them, and then we like move through. But what you'll notice is they've copped out. They don't have the content made, so you just skip all the way through and through and through, and it's very apparent very quickly. They're just rushing you through the map. The map itself is content filled and big and rich and stuff. Just when it comes to the actual storyline, it bottomed out, unfortunately, in this chapter hard. I don't even know what dialogue I can get from these awakened here, so it's a bit of a shame. Oh, here's some. These guys kneeling. Clan Marshal Getty. What do you need? Make it quick. There's a lot on my mind right now. What's the issue, Clan Marshal? King Joko's last orders were to provide food for our kingdom and awaken troops to fight the Forged. Both goals need bodies, so it's a delicate balance. The Vizier and I have some ideas. What exactly is your duty as a Clan Marshal? Well, Purity is ruled by two leaders, a Clan Marshal and an awakened Vizier advisor. The bone strands of resources help provide for the kingdom. We feed King Joko's subjects in Vabi and beyond. Corner, guys. Ooh. What's the problem that gets you so distracted? We already heard that. So the Vizier... My time is short. The Clan Marshal and I have to discuss how best to deal with the rest of Purity. They left. So what's going on with the events in this area of the world? Why are they now all pissed with me? What is actually the story behind the hostilities here? Because they didn't do any dialogue or event to defend or whatever. Which Tengu name? I have two Tengu names. I strongly suspect they'll take one off of me. When the game comes out. Listen to how like self-assured I am. When the game comes out, when Cantha comes out, and Angchu are added, okay, which is 100%. I have one of my names is Saw Onaclaw, which is the name of the leader of the Aerie. So there were not actually that many prominent Tengu NPCs. There were maybe like 5 or 6 in the entire continent, really. And this was one of them, if not one of them. Basically, the most prominent is probably Talon Silverwing, and the second most prominent is Saw Onaclaw. So, I mean, if they ever do give us the Dominion of Winds, if they ever do give us Cantha and all that, there's no way that they won't do a lot more Saw Onaclaw lore. In which case they might say, no, you're not allowed that name anymore. Like, I don't think they let people be called like Brother Menlo and stuff in Guild Wars 2. I don't think. or Danica and things like that. Maybe they do. I know that I had a friend. My ranger is called Counselor Yak, who is actually a counselor in Ratasum. I actually have a counselor's name, and he's an Asura, and I made that character, and I had an old friend I used to play the game with who made Counselor Flunt, who back in the day, Flunt was just a random crony from some personal story steps, and that was it. Flunt wasn't anything special. But then in Living World Season 2, Flunt became a prominent character, and when that happened, my friend got his name stripped from him. I still have Yak, but Flunt, you can't have his name anymore. They said, no, you're not allowed that. So I'm assuming that what happened to him with Flunt will happen to me with Saw on a Claw if we ever do get that kind of content. I'm assuming. The other one I have, I don't remember, but I do have another Tengu, another actual legitimate Tengu name. And that's like my backup if the devs take away my cake. Nice pistol gameplay right there, my friend. It's very good. You should take that into Conquest. You'll get a great win rate. Weird, my Sylvari was named Fowlane for a long time and I never got that name stripped. Really? You have the name Fowlane? I mean, that sounds crazy at first glance because it's like, shit, Fowlane's a big character. They put a lot of emphasis on her. But they also completely abandoned Fowlane. Despite everything that was set up for her in all the directions, they kind of like... I mean, Fowlane was reintroduced to be killed with very little character development because she was kind of a loose end at that point and a victim of scoping issues in Heart of Thorns. So maybe they just sort of thought, you know what, he can have it. Because she's not alive in the story anymore. Maybe it's only when they're living characters with ongoing development that they don't like it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the rules. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of inconsistent at the same time. By the way, if you wonder I'm walking so much and killing slowly, it's just because I want to get as much out of the Desolation as possible because I love this map and the story won't get us to interface with it much. That looks pretty ugly over there, sadly. But what can they do? Look, Tyria is composed of giant rectangles. Here's what I want more than anything else right now. I want an Asura who's like mad and insane to be hypothesizing that Tyria is actually made of giant rectangles. And everyone's like, what are you talking about, made of giant rectangles? It's clearly not. Don't be a moron. Like, and they're all put, you know, proper in law. You know, they're treating it correctly. But he's like, no, I swear sometimes when I look to the horizon, I get a sense for it. I don't understand. It's a conspiracy. Ah! And then, like, just sort of go mad and they throw him in the Ratasum jail or something. I would love that so much. Oh, you had Fowlane, but you renamed her 2 years ago. You never got any notifications. So it was post Heart of Thorns you renamed her as well. Because I would have expected it's around Heart of Thorns. They would have thought, okay, let's deal with this. Yeah, the Augury Rock one's particularly bad, and I do feel a little bit bad for introducing that to a lot of people. It's kind of one of those, once you see it, you can't unsee it things. Someone had a thing where they thought that this up here, this bag, this inventory bag, they thought that that was like an angry-looking falcon or eagle or whatever, looking face on at the camera. Do you see that? And they'd always seen that as just a bird staring at them. And never questioned it, and only recently realized it's a backpack. And they put it on Reddit, and now everyone's like, oh, I can't unsee it now. Oh. The eagle bag, yeah.
The Order of Shadows keeps the Mouth of Torment from unleashing chaos on the region. An outlander of your accomplishment could be a great boon to our cause. Keeper Pamir coordinates our efforts from the camp at Torment's Watch, including scouting patrols, automated turret defense, and subterfuge operations.
So, I just want to say one thing that I think she might have more dialogue. Hold on.
The Mouth of Torment is the gateway to the Realm of Torment. Forged forces emerge from the mouth and the portals that periodically open at the maws.
Wing 6, baby. Give it to me, ArenaNet. I know it's in there. Let's do it. Or more Underworld. Both are okay. But Dismina leading a conquest to take out the Fissure of Woe. That's kind of a cool idea, right? I'll read this and then I'll do my anecdote, which I'm already forgetting. The Order of Shadows is all that keeps the Realm of Torment from unleashing chaos on this land. If you have the heart of any sort, you'll ally yourself to our cause. What's happening at the mouth? It's a complete mess. Balthazar's forged army is all over the moors. We're doing what we can to hold back the tide. We keep a close eye on their movements and try to shut down their realm portals. Where does the Order of Shadows need help? You'll find an outpost along the Ruination. Speak to Keeper Pamir and Redeemer Kosan. They're always glad for extra help. I'd also check in at the Chantry of Shadows if I were you. What's the Chantry of Shadows? Our hidden Chantry is where the Order of Shadows devises plans, trains initiates, and researches ways to defeat our enemies and free Alona. We'll need every advantage we can muster.
Hey, could you lend a hand? We could use your help to keep the Mouth of Torment in check.
Okay, so one thing I do love is the Order of Whispers, now Order of Shadows if you want.
We could use your help.
She speaks very quickly. Is, you know, they were all about watching over demons and fighting against the Realm of Torment and all that kind of stuff. So I love the idea that it's them that's watching over the Realm of Torment. Imagine all the ways that the core narrative could have played and talked about that if it had actually been a part of the main campaign. So cool. Unfortunately, all we'll get is a little bit of dialogue loosely in the building here, which I will extract as much as I possibly can, but, you know, we're going to be limited.
Come and get me. So much power.
I walked into the tar to proc the full counter on that. Oh, look, some more Chowchum. Isn't the idea to take action right now while Balthazar doesn't know you're alive? Oh, sorry, what are you're trying to justify why there's minimal story in the Desolation? I'm not sure that really follows. They could add a lot of story in the Desolation and still preserve the feeling that we're hiding our lives from him. And, you know, you could implement a lot of instances and divulge a lot of story and lore while still only covering a single day in the timeline. You can do a lot of that, I think, personally. I don't think that should ever limit them. That's actually one of the things that I think I'm probably... Maybe I'm ignorant because I don't work in the industry or whatever. But, you know, when Heart of Thorns came out, that's kind of my big beef with what they talked about. Where they're like... They once upon a time suggested that the reason there was so little in Heart of Thorns is because they wanted to keep the sense of urgency. That, oh, we were going for Morgemoth. But I really don't see how... you can't encompass a lot of story and also have that sense of urgency there. It's not like you're forced to push the timeline far. It's not like... I think they have a lot more control over the pace than they were acting. And I think really the answer was that they just didn't have the budget or time to do much more, and that's the real truth of it. It's not that it's impossible to do Heart of Thorns well and Morgemoth well and this like skirmish infiltration mission well while also dealing with other relevant information like the fucking Nightmare Court, let's be real, you know. But maybe I'm wrong with my philosophy on that. I might swap our Grandmaster off of Magebane, which does drop our damage, but it would give us resist on full counter, which would help us to shrug off weakness in those big areas. This guy hits hard. Jesus. We should get the kill. Oh my god, yeah, and fast as well. Holy crap. He hits really hard. Please don't be stomping me in stealth. Wow. Do we go for the vengeance? We're going to have to. He will kill us. He will kill us. We have to vengeance. Let's hope it works.
For great justice.
It worked. We're fine. Am I taking the trait? No, I'm not taking the trait, so good luck. Right. Here's the banner as well. Let me just engage with this. Into the tar.
Such might.
We might have over-aggroed here. Let me get this occultist first.
For great justice.
This projectile's coming, so I can full counter it. Oh, what? It did nothing? That's annoying.
So much power.
I'm going to come over to the boss now. And I'm going to full counter here because that should kill them both at once. Yeah, perfect. Alright, down he goes. You've noticed that expansion mobs die a lot faster than Condi than Power? Maybe. I mean, one thing that was really crazy to me when I was preparing the pre-show and I got to play the game was, you know, we weren't very far out from launch at all, and they hadn't done any like mechanical playtest balancing, and they blatantly said to us, run Condi, not Power there. They blatantly said that. They said it's not really, we haven't done that pass yet. And that, to me, was such a signifier of ArenaNet's priorities and like beliefs about the game and how to make it, that you could be that close to launch, and it's like the actual difficulty scaling and like the gameplay, essentially, that's like an end, that's like housekeeping at the end almost, you know. Again, maybe I'm just completely wrong about these things, but it feels so strange to me that that's like one of the last things that comes in the pipeline. Okay, now we'll balance it so it's playable. It's like I mean, you'd think that that's the backbone of every moment of every mob they put in, that they already have a sense for it, but no, it's like they just en masse do these big broad sweeps on, okay, this is roughly how difficult we want it to be, and it's like an end of the road style decision they make, you know, like, and when you really think about what that means for the resulting RPG experience, I don't know, I think it tells you some things.
Just so much power.
Justicia is pronounced Justicar. Well, in game they call it Justicar, so I called it Justicar, but apparently in the real world it is Justicia, or the other way around. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. That's annoying. That walk hit me so fast. He hit me in the middle of the eviscerate I used to engage on him. Pretty frustrating. That's actually a nice relief that they see how the game reacts to both Condi and Power builds. Oh yeah, I mean, they're acutely aware of it.
Are up, the camps are down. That should get Iberu's attention. Now to the Bone Palace to wait.
I mean, if you go back and watch me on the post show, I'm playing Warrior there. It wasn't Elite Specializations on that half. They were two separate halves. And if you watch, I'm playing Warrior, Berserker possibly, and I'm in like Zerk gear or something. I can't remember. Or maybe it was Marauder's gear I think I was in. And it was hard. The game was really hard, but it wasn't by design. They warned us about that. They said, listen, you know, you might find out. It's not that I'm a terrible warrior. It was just, I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of things. I do have a lot of you remember when the devs go on streams and they play terribly and everyone's like smug and laughs or whatever? I do have a lot of sympathy for them, because you have to understand it is a totally different, not just client, but hardware too. So you're holding a mouse that you might not be used to, like you haven't got an MMO mouse with you. You've got a keyboard that, you know, maybe you're not fully familiar with the keys. All the binds will have been broken, and there's always about 6 or 7 different binds you didn't think about until you're 10 minutes in, and now it's like, oh shit, I've got to set that up. And also we were playing on wonkily balanced content. So if you watch me playing Warrior there, it's a bit like pulling teeth. When the post show was going out, there were a lot of people like posting face palms or whatever, like, oh my god, I can't believe you went down to that or whatever. But there's just a lot of different stuff going on, and you know, there might be real life stuff influencing you too. Like for example, I told you guys my Elite Specialization footage gathering was about 10% of my brain was on Elite Specialization footage gathering. The other 80% of my brain was on having conversations about balance with balance devs, you know, and being excited about that. And there's so many different rich and luscious and cool different topics to go into, and it's like, okay, but you don't get a lot of that, so the gameplay suffers, you know.
So much power.
A bit like why, as I rant to you now, I keep opening the mini-map, the map for some reason. And it's because I'm looking for where I got to go next. We got to intercept Archon Iberu at the outskirts of the Bone Palace. So the game wants us to go all the way down here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how much. I mean, oh. And then we go to Vabi. It's literally, that's it, guys. Welcome to the failing of Path of Fire, I'm afraid. We're going to go north, though, back up to the Darklands. Oh, sorry, no, they're over here, aren't they? So I think we should be able to follow this along. Viable is not the word I'd use. What do you mean? Sorry, what's the word you'd use? It's interesting that Alolan wargs look different to Tyrion ones. You're right, it is, isn't it? So this is a warg, and it looks totally different. Is it supposed to be a dead warg, though? Is that the idea? Is it an awakened warg, maybe? He looks kind of dead, doesn't he? He looks kind of goofy, actually, to be honest. He looks like Marowak's evolution, because look, he's got like a skull on his head. This is Marowak's Mega Evo, guys. And I spent so long examining it that I'm getting attacked by more mummies. I was doing a no-death challenge, and I've been AFK in open world watching this, and I looked and it says you have died 2 times. Rest in peace, man. That's a shame. I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah, come on. I keep getting thrown off by this dynamic event. I keep thinking, I'll go north. I'm leaving the bounds. This is a vet, but we have a handy revenant with us. Oh. I should get used to skull cracking first. I keep forgetting that I've still got this mace on here. Is this for the kill? No. Very few crits there. That's a shame. WP, do you like memes? 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 I don't know what a meme is, so I'm going to say no. Memes? What is that word?
For great justice.
Memes.
This looks like a fine place for adventure. Faster!
Wait, what's this? It was fun checking through the art station pages for Guild Wars concept arts pieces. I learned that the way that Sadavar, the camel-like beings named after carnivorous unicorns of Persian lore, were a last-minute addition to the Path of Fire bestiary, similar to hydras, which almost didn't make the cut. Oh, I never knew that about the Sadavars, because they were... Oh, guys, I mean, Costage, your comment there is really reminding me. Can you guys remember how cool it was when you first started exploring POF, and there were all those new creatures around? You had the little worms, you had the Sadavars, you had the Choya, you had the Hydra. Can you remember just how fucking exciting and cool the POF stuff was? Such a shame that the meta event philosophy was so, like, off. Here, let me put a proposal to you guys. Do you think now that the devs have done a Heart of Thorns expansion with the Heart of Thorns starter meta and a POF expansion with the POF starter meta, do you think they can get away with going back to... And I know some of you are going to say, oh, just do the middle ground. But let's not be centrist for a second. Do you think they can afford to go back to implement how the things were in Heart of Thorns to raving success and review? Because everyone knows that the grass isn't greener now. Do you think that they can get away with that? I reckon they could. Look, Path of Fire was thrown under the bus specifically for the long-term plan of having the perfect expansion with Cogs of War. That's what's happened here, because Cogs of War is going to have all the incredible quality that POF had with all of the great repeatable endgame reward structures and designs of Heart of Thorns and its metas. That's it, guys. Wait for it. You'll see. Wow, look at that. Look at that comment there in chat. Rec Lol says the Path of Fire maps were the biggest waste of developer time imaginable. If they do it again, I'm out. Holy Jesus. Let's just think about that for a second. My God, guys. Discuss. There you go. This is your coursework, everybody. Let me throw that on stream for you all. Ads, image. Let me grab this right here. Yeah, that was my share X. Don't worry, you don't have to freak out. Here you go, guys. Discuss. Discuss. I want your, 5 pages on my desk by Friday afternoon. Okay? Go for it. Look at that. I mean, that's an incredible comment. He is so wrong that I want to fight him IRL. I don't think he's entirely wrong, though. I don't think he's entirely wrong. I think there's a lot of talk to get out of that. All right, here we go. The Shadowlands.
The awakened battle lines are being pushed farther and farther back toward the Bone Palace.
If it's overrun, Vombi will likely follow. I never thought I'd say this, but I wish Joko were around.
Without him to lead the army, it's only a matter of time.
Any idea where he is?
Nothing concrete. He hasn't been seen in quite some time.
In hiding?
Not really his style. But I find it hard to believe he's dead either. Well, dead for real, that is. Send a couple agents to Vajan Palace. Let's see what they can uncover.
Yeah, Kosich just said that originally they wanted both of these two maps to be one. But the engine couldn't handle it, so they shrunk Amnoon, sunk one of the districts, well, here really, and split it. Which kind of explains why this one's a bit thicker, and so is this one. It's kind of amazing to think of that, though. I wonder how bad the player density would have been in a map like that. And I also wonder whether engine improvements, while we wait for Cogs of War, will enable them to do that in Cogs of War. My wet dream has always been, imagine if this was just one map. And they gave us the Delgamore front, just a single map, that entire place, one map. And it just felt like this giant open world, like... Be pretty crazy, right? So Helium Blade is suggesting that they've already figured it out with the Living World maps.
The sulfur? I barely notice it anymore. You must be new here.
Just hit 3 weeks.
Where are you from?
North, beyond the wall. Joko exiled my family when I was little.
So what? You joined the Order for revenge?
I guess. Somehow I hadn't imagined that revenge would involve fighting metal monsters.
None of us did.
I like that dialogue. I kind of don't like it because it suggests the sulfur isn't even that bad when Guild Wars 1 was like super hardcore about it, but you know, they did that in other ways, so it only makes sense that the NPCs also do it, and at least that sort of talks about the deadliness of the sulfur. So they're not hiding from it, is what I kind of getting at. Is it reasonable to make a ranger with a longbow and a short bow as a swap? It is. It just depends on what content you want to play. Generally speaking, it's a weird combo because one weapon is flat damage better and the other one is better for condi damage. But there are ways to make any build work really in PvE. It just depends how bad you want it. So don't worry about that. A Hamasine trader, really? I want to hear what he says. All over the region, rogue elements are being driven by... Oh, no, we already know all that. That's boring. Alright, so we go to the Darklands. Yeah, the idea that Living Worlds has it figured out. I've proposed that before.
Worse. We need more help. There's no one else the Order can trust. We're it.
What about Whispers in Central Tyria?
They already abandoned Alona once. Why would we trust them now? For all we know, their dragon hunting is what caused this.
So maybe they're not the most trustworthy. But what else can we do?
What we always do. We stick together.
10 out of 10. So cool. Love all of this. I've proposed this in the past that maybe it's okay if expansions have like basically no repeatable content in them or very little. And Living World does the metas instead. In many ways, that makes more sense because it's Living World's duty to keep people playing. But I don't know. I've made that proposal before, but I don't know. This series is kind of weird for me to play with you guys on stream here. I do feel odd. I feel disconnected from myself. It feels strange. It feels like Path of Fire wasn't what I wanted it to be, even though I was so satisfied and excited and happy about it. And the only way I can resolve why that's in my gut is maybe the thought that it is the duty of the expansion itself to keep me on these maps. I feel like there's such a big, awesome Crystal Oasis, but I haven't built enough memories there. And I'm kind of mad at Path of Fire for that. I haven't built enough memories in the Desert Highlands. That I haven't built enough memories, especially on this fucking map, right? Like, oh, look at how cool this is. All this dialogue. I want more players around to be meaningfully interacting with this environment so much more. I mean, I've always had that, though. I've always had that thing where I hate how flabby this franchise is in terms of, like, getting value out of its content. 88,000 voice files, and I can guarantee most people never heard most of it, right? That's the cost you pay for ambient dialogue, though. There's so much content here and awesome stuff, but people don't interface with it because they're just pressing, because the game's design is teaching you to just press F on hearts and leave, or level 80 boost, or tome and boost and leave. So that kind of stuff has always really, really upset me, that you can see such incredible weight of manpower and work and passion, but like the design makes it all for naught, and that feels so weird to me. And I think I feel that with Path of Fire a little bit as well. I didn't feel that with Heart of Thorns, because I mean, shit, I spent a lot of time in Tangled Depths. I spent a lot of time at Auric bases. When I look at Tyria, I look at this and I'm like, I got my value out of that city. I spent a lot of time in that city. I love the music there. I love the lighting there. I spent time there, and I really I felt like I got every drip, and I enjoyed it. I feel that for Heart of Thorns. I feel it to a great extent in Verdant Brink, but less, and guess what? This was the meta event I did less. I feel it for Dragon's Stand, which I did a lot. I feel it for Tangled Depths. So I've got to, you know, and then Path of Fire, I just feel like I didn't get that. As great as it all is. So I wonder... Did you watch? No, I did not. I did not, Jules. I already did my slash age earlier on the stream. Why are people asking me for that lots today? You just need to add grind, solved. So we'll have, this is discuss point 1. Basically, guys, you're doing your Guild Wars 2 GCSE, all right? And you've got an option for your question 2. You can choose to discuss this, or you can choose to discuss the other comment, which is just add grind and it's done, all right? So you make your decision, and I want to see your arguments. Good luck. Eat fish in the morning, because that will help your brains. Get a good night's sleep, and I'm sure you'll all get your A's and your B's. Don't worry, guys. Greetings, Commander. Welcome to our... No, you prick! Get back here. Greetings, Commander. Welcome to our outpost. I must say, I hope you're here to help us with our fights. Yes, I'm here to stop Balthazar. What can I do? Keeper Pamir is the one you want to talk to. He can tell you what's needed. We appreciate your assistance and are glad to have you with us. Order of Shadows? Isn't that like the Order of Whispers? I like the thought of just a really dumb player that got here and is like, yes and no. We began as one and the same, but when Alona was cut off from the rest of Tyria, we charted our own course. We maintain limited contact with them. So what's the difference between the two orders? Our guiding principles and methods are very similar. However, our focus is necessarily different. Palawa Joko has been our primary concern for many years, not the dragons. Oh, I like their term here. Back up a second. Your headquarters are a little modest. Would you expect us to be ostentatious? Besides, in true Shadows fashion, there's more to this place than what you can see. Like through that door behind you, for instance. Can I see what's in there? No. Alright, enough about the door. Do you think they'll do Living World when we go behind this door? Do you think they will? I mean, Living World has got to take us to this room, right? I mean, this is the other thing. You get more value out of these maps if Living World comes back to them, but so far it's not because they're going to new maps constantly. So come on. Come on. Let me through the door, please. I wonder what Tyria 3D shows behind that door. Probably just a rock wall. But I'm curious. Oh, if you look, apparently there's a place which could fit an instance. Oh, you mean on the map? Wow. I don't have that mastery point. Holy crap. I don't have a mastery point. I'm sure I'll get that later. This just shows how thin on the ground my POF stuff is. Alright, coming out the back door here of this cave.
The Force are assaulting the canyon. Take the portal out and destroy their artillery so we can reopen the gate.
I like this, that he mentions portal in his dialogue. It shows that by the time they recorded that, they had a very clear sense of what the content was going to be. You never really see that in Core Tyria. They're very, very sketchy with that kind of stuff. Like, they keep it as generic as possible. By the way, when we think about ArenaNet adding big dick meta events to Path of Fire metas, I think the best way to make them is also to add some new expensive as fuck drop from those metas, like the Chak Egg Sack. Absolutely, and we saw the Choya confetti thing did it with Amnoon. I'm sure there's a lot of people who feel like they got their value out of Amnoon, the ones that farmed for the pinata thing. I just didn't happen to be one of them, personally. But I think that this is one of the better places of POF, just because it's had that. Right, now we come into this room. Sadly, I can't redo this, because once per account, thanks for this. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is... Anyway, hello, I can only talk for a moment. I'm the Order of Shadows weaponsmith, and there's a lot of pressure on me right now to develop new weapons against the Forge. What sort of weapons? The Forge around here go to great lengths to avoid sulfur. It's highly corrosive to their armor. If I can get my sulfur thrower prototype finalized, we'll have a huge advantage. And what's a sulfur thrower exactly? What do you think a sulfur thrower is? It expels vaporized sulfur at high pressures. The Forge are going to hate it. So how does it work? It's not hard. Point at a Forge target and pull the trigger. Be sure to kill your target so we can see if it makes enough impact to warrant mass production. Why sulfur? Well, the Forged around here go to great lengths to avoid sulfur. It's highly corrosive to their armor. If I can get my sulfur thrower prototype finalized, then we'll have a huge advantage. And what's a sulfur thrower exactly? What do you think a sulfur thrower is? It expels vaporized sulfur at high pressures. The Forged are going to hate it. So how does it work? It's not hard. Point it at a target and pull the trigger. Be sure to, and look, we can't get it. I want to pick it up again. Give me the content you built. Don't just lock it off once per account. Boo. All right. Recruit Mayor. Is it true that Balthazar's returned? The actual real Balthazar? Human god Balthazar? It's true. Wow, it's hard to believe. My parents will be happy though. Oh, but they don't worship Balthazar, of course. They worship Cormyr. I don't see how that would make them happy. Well, if one god's come back, why not another? I never brought into their old-timey beliefs, but maybe now I should start reconsidering. Doesn't Joko exile or kill anyone who worships the old gods? Yes, sadly. In our village up north, Purity, quite a few people still practice the old ways, but they have to keep it secret. I figure you won't tell anyone. Of course not. So that's her. And then we can come up. I don't even remember. I don't think there's any dialogue up here, but it is a cool little room. So let's head on up. There might be ambient dialogue that I just don't know about.
We're spread too thin. Zula's up north. Issa's running around with ghosts. Keto's out doing God's only know what. We should be focusing all our efforts on the mouth of torment.
Look, I hear you, but we're not making any progress. We should be trying to find allies. The Order of Shadows can't win this fight alone.
I wonder if we go back through that door to do with Wing 6 or any potential raid wing that gives us the Fissure of Woe. What do you guys think? God, I want to go back to the Foundry of Failed Creations. Holy crap, can you imagine how cool that would be? Did I just say Fissure of Woe? What am I talking about? Sorry, Realm of Torment. Do you think the future expansions will add more mounts? Or are the 5 diverse enough not to merit any more additions? It's tricky. I see space for an underwater mount. And I see space for more land ones. I have a video entirely on that. I talk about the idea of siege turtles and rhinos and all kinds of things. You can find that on my channel. There is regular dialogue up here. Librarian Adisu. Oh, a visitor. We haven't gotten that many lately. No one reads anymore. What are they teaching their kids? Nothing. You'll find out. I'm Adisu, by the way. Head librarian for the Order. The Order as a librarian? Someone has to keep track of all these books. What you see here is only a fraction of our collection. We have thousands of volumes. Many are hundreds of years old. Why do you collect so many? Well, Palawa Joko has a habit of destroying anything that contradicts his official propaganda. We're trying to preserve the knowledge and history of Aluna and Vabi. For posterity? In a way, when Joko is finally defeated, these books will help us rebuild our society. We will step into our future armed with wisdom of our past. Your optimism is refreshing, my friend. And another door. More books back there, I guess, is the idea. The chat in the thing in chat about what could you call the char?
I ran into a fireball spitting harpy with a magical energy shield while on patrol.
Is that even possible?
I've been seeing a lot of weird stuff lately.
Guess we can add magic-crazed wildlife to our list of concerns.
Interesting. I definitely think it's right to call the char atheistic. You can't poil, so you guys are debating the semantics or extrapolation that we can do on the single line, the char have no gods. And you probably just think of that because that's Char character creation, but if you actually take all the different dialogue and just look at them as a culture, I think the point is that they reject any and everything that professes to be godly. I think that's the point, and that they do not believe in worship, and they do not believe in taking any form of God. So I think that, yeah, that is atheism, isn't it? That's not agnosticism, which is not knowing or not saying. It's literally saying, fuck you, we're better than gods. We don't need them, they don't exist. There's just people professing to be things they're not. That's the Char philosophy, and I think that is purely, rawly atheistic in a more like aggressive way than you'd even find on Earth. Yeah, that's like anti-theism. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, they're anti-theists. That's actually a really good term for it. Definitely, they're anti-theists. They're not concerned to just say, no, I don't believe. No, it doesn't exist. They're not content for that. They are anti-theist. Yeah. Is that called Zuluism? Is it?
I get so nervous when he's around.
Son, don't be silly. He's very friendly and down to earth.
I heard he killed a Mordant Crescent single-handedly, and he broke into Joko's palace.
Just go talk to him. He's modest, but if you get him going, he'll tell you some good stories.
And it's not all Char, by the way. Like, this is why you shouldn't so specifically just draw from one line of dialogue. You got to look at the bigger picture. It's not all Char anyway, because, I'm sorry, what was going on with the Flame Legion at Core and Gaherin Balefire? They were trying to raise him as a god, right? It's not all Char. Char have the capacity for it. It's just, we're talking about Iron Legion and the Blood and Ash allegiance, the High Legion allegiance that currently exists. Totally forgot. Did you see that Reddit thread about Carla? There's dialogue in game. I did. That's going to be in my news video for Guild Wars. It does look really good, doesn't it? So yeah, if you guys don't know, special items in the game give Carla Scorchrays a special dialogue. If you wonder why I'm wandering around a bit waffly and looking at chat, that's because we've been going to... this was going to be a short stream, and it's gone to 2.5 hours already, which is longer than normal. So tomorrow we will have full dedicated Path of Fire thing going the whole way through. I hope you enjoyed the stories. I hope you like the sound of some of the projects I'm working on. It's been really cool to see you all in chat. Thank you very much to those few of you who did sub today, and Ewendel who did the small donation. Hopefully that will inspire some other people. Anyone who followed as well, you guys are awesome. If you do click the follow button on the stream, the internet will notify you through magic when I go live next, which will be in about 24 hours. Love to see you guys there. If you want more discussion and chit chat and whatnot about the videos and stuff, please do feel free to join us on Discord. And that's about it really, guys. Thank you very much. He's about to wave. Benji is right. I'll see you next time, everyone.